up, Internet? My name's Ori. It is Friday, August 22nd, day number 46. Inside the Big Brother house, who won HOH? Who will they nominate after a wild wall comp, after a split vote blindside? What's better than that? Let's talk about that, plus all the intel, drama, and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We have a poll up in chat. You can vote. Are you team cherries? Are you team M&Ms? Speaking of streams, there was supposed to be a watch party last night. And my internet went out literally right before the episode. I couldn't watch even like the first half of the episode. I couldn't even get on to get the video set from unprivate. The tweet that was scheduled went out. I just couldn't control anything. So it was a whole mess. But we are here live. If you guys don't know, we do daily live feed updates all season long, first thing in the morning, throughout the week. They're nice, they're condensed, they're short, but on Fridays we have a little fun. We go live. So you'll get the same update here in just a moment. And we jump into the chat afterwards, and it's a whole lot of fun. But there's a lot to go over. Like I said, my internet went out. I missed out on like the first half of the episode. That's, you know, who needs the first half of the recap of the episode? I'm about to give you one here anyway. And then my internet came back almost as Julie said, go in the Blockbuster. That is when it came back. Also, I do want to make a quick shout out here before we jump into everything. Olivia with the $5 super chat coming on in. Ori is late to the meeting. Are we putting him up on the block, guys? Olivia, no! Olivia, no! No. We're good. Olivia, we got a final two. We're good. Chill. Don't call me out in the house like this. Don't throw me under the bus, Olivia. All right, let's jump into everything because we got a lot to go over. Like I said, it was a wild wall comp. Which, by the way, if you maybe are in the Discord, you might have had a little secret notification about something that happened over on Kick. And we had a lot of fun. I'll just say that. We had a lot of fun. We are currently live on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch right now. You could pick where you want to watch. It's totally up to you. There's no preference on either one of them. Everything is good wherever you choose to watch. Is totally up to you. But here's a little bit of recap for you. If you haven't been keeping up with everything going on, Rachel won HOH and nominated Mickey, Morgan, and Vince. Lauren won the power of veto, and she used it to save Vince from the block. Rachel then nominated Rylie as the replacement nominee, and it was kind of a out-of-nowhere thing. She just kind of said it, whipped it out real quick at that nomination ceremony, so it was pretty fun the way she did it. Now, not much really to go over from the pre-show feeds. As we know, the real vote was going to be coming down to Vince and Ava and what they really wanted to do. It seemed like they were both leaning towards keeping Rylie, especially Vince seemed to be pushing that way, even over Morgan, who's one of his closest allies. So we were looking to go into this where he has this alliance with Morgan, he has the alliance with the judges, but if it ends up being Morgan versus Rylie, it really seemed like Vince and Ava were going to vote out Morgan over Rylie. But that all came down to the Blockbuster because it wouldn't matter, because if Mickey was on the block, maybe they can just vote out Mickey. The Blockbuster was kind of that ball balance beam kind of a game. It's like a snaky balance beam where you have to roll the ball down. And basically what it was, the farther down that snake that it dropped, the more points you got. And it was made very clear because you can lock in your point, right? If you think you have a score that nobody's going to beat, you can lock in your score. But they made it very clear, if there ever was a tie, that the win would be declared by who locked in the button first. That ends up being important. So a wild series of events takes place here. Rylie gets 29, right? He gets pretty far down. 29 seems like a reasonable score. It went up to like 40 though, right? So he gets 29 and he just waits. And like, this seems like a good strategy, right? Wait to see if somebody gets a higher number. Because if you got a pretty high number, at least, you know, right now, why risk, you know, where you have it? Because then you would be stuck at a different one, right? Just wait. And then if they go to lock in, you can lock in first if they try and go through, or whatever you want to do. He just sits there and waits. Morgan then gets 29 and locks hers in. Because now, technically, if Rylie, because he didn't lock in, if he locks in with that, he loses. Because it would have been a tie at 29, which Then he does. Like, Rylie basically threw. He threw the competition. I don't think he intentionally threw the competition. I don't think he understand the rules. I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. I really don't understand this. Because then, while that was all happening, Mickey got 38. So it didn't even matter anyway. And Mickey wins the Blockbuster. And then she's coming off the block. I was in shambles. I didn't know. My internet was out. I didn't see anything before it. Julie says, go. My internet comes back. I'm thrown into this Blockbuster. And I see the most crazy thing that I've ever seen in my entire life take place on an episode of Big Brother. This might be the thing that goes, okay, if this kind of stuff can happen, maybe I like Blockbuster. I still have issues with Blockbuster. Don't get me wrong. I think there's some things about it that make people who aren't really good at the game advance further in the game, but sometimes that's good for chaos. It's good for chaos. But it was wild. Camden coming on in with the $5 super chat. I wonder if Keanu, Kelley, and Catherine will be mad at Vince and try and target him next week for flipping his vote. We're about to get into that, Camden, because it was wild once we got to the vote. It was crazy, because that also had its own situations going down. So Mickey wins the Blockbuster. She comes off the block, meaning it's Morgan versus Rylie. Like I said, we thought that Vince was maybe going to stick with Ava. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was going to be wild, because we knew that Mickey, Ashley, and Will, they were going to be locked in to keep Morgan. On the other side, you had Rylie, Keanu, and Kelley, and Catherine, who were all going to be locked in to keep keep Rylie. So it was going to be 3-4 on that side. But then you had the question marks on what was Vince and Ava going to do. Either way, they could flip it. One of the things I even suggested was that maybe Vince would have Ava vote to keep Rylie, and then that's 5. He has enough to stay, and then he could just sneakily vote with the judges. Right? He could just sneakily go on over and be good over there. Oh, by the way, there was also Rachel. Rachel would have been over there as well. So it was kind of like one of those things where it was I don't know what exactly he was gonna do here, because it could really blow up his game. He had promised Rylie his vote, so it was what's gonna happen here? Who's that coming on in? Something just happened. I don't even know what just happened. Camden, I think, gifted 5 memberships to the community. Let's go, Camden. Thank you so much for hooking up the community that way. If you got a gifted stuff from Camden, make sure you say thank you up in the chat. So it was what is Vince and Ava going to do? What are they going to do here? Vince and Ava vote to keep Morgan. I was shocked. They kept leaving. It seemed like they were going to keep Rylie, but no, they have voted to evict Rylie from the game. Even though there's an asterisk to this. Ava made it very clear. She's like, can I still vote for Mickey? Am I still allowed? Am I still allowed to vote for Mickey? Because that could be, I would like to. Is that an option? I know we already did the Blockbuster. I know that's a thing, but can we just pretend like that didn't happen? I want to vote for Mickey. Ava just going crazy there, and then votes for Rylie. Just a complete blindside, not only to myself, and just how it all went down with the shock of the Blockbuster that was still going on, but then just with the whole blindside with the other side of the house, right? You had Catherine, Kelley, Keanu, and even Lauren, who was on the wrong side of the vote then, because Vince didn't fill her in, as far as we know there. He wasn't really filling her in on what was going to happen, let her be on the other side of the vote. She could have jumped on over and at least pretended oh yeah, well, at least I was on your guys' side. But she right? Here's the thing, Jonathan, she kind of knew, but also kind of didn't. It was kind of the whole time he was really kind of saying yeah, I'm probably going to keep Rylie, just like Lauren was saying she was going to keep Rylie. He was saying he's kind of 50-50 in a lot of cases. But it was still, it was interesting how it was all kind of playing out here. And yeah, what a wild time with this eviction vote. A couple of other things that are interesting here. I just want to make note, because this did happen on the episode. I did see it all go down. Derek and Taylor were on there. They were kind of just promoting BB Unlocked, right? But some stuff happened, right? There was a special guest. It wasn't that hard to guess from the clues, right? When they were the first clue is Amber. We want to make it very clear it's Amber, and then there's tea, right? I don't know if any city is known for tea. And then what was it? Was it literally Survivor was the third clue? It wasn't even oh, fire, right? Or ooh, an island. It was just oh, nope, it's the Survivor logo. Here we go. It was Boston Rob from Survivor. He's going to be the guest on BB Unlocked. Because I guess what's happening is BB Unlocked's going to be on Sunday. So it's like a 2-hour thing where we're going to get BB Unlocked and then the episode, or the episode then BB Unlocked. I don't know which one's which. I would assume because BB Unlocked's usually Friday, so it's going to be that's going to be first, and then it goes right into the episode. Or maybe it's just going to be some kind of long like thing that they're doing. I don't know. The cameras for the feeds, every so often they would go down, and that happens during the normal wall competitions that we're going to go over later. So maybe they were doing some kind of things during that too. And the feeds were down for a long time, so maybe they were just filming that stuff, kind of showing off the wall comp with BB Unlocked and showing kind of the behind the scenes before it became all a mess. So that's an option too. Who's that coming on in? Amanda came in. She hit that subscribe button. Listen, Amanda, you might not have known this. When you hit the subscribe button, me and you, we now have a secret final two. It's a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody, Amanda. Listen, but me and you, man, we're going to the final two. There's not don't let, if any you hear anything about chat about like other final twos, Amanda, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just me and you. We're going to the end. Thank you for hitting that sub button. So here's the other thing, though. Not only is Boston Rob going to be on as the BB Unlocked guest, I would imagine they're going to have some kind of cool like behind the scenes stuff on that. So I think actually BB Unlocked might be interesting to actually watch on Sunday. And plus, it's a 2-hour episode. You're going to watch the episode anyway. So this is kind of a way for people to see what BB Unlocked is if you haven't given it a chance yet. I'll be honest, I don't think BB Unlocked is really anything like that crazy of importance, right? It's one of those things where it's good for like the casual fan who's not keeping up with stuff going on. Every so often they do show some behind the scenes stuff, but that really feels like it's almost just forcing you to watch it a little bit, but you can always catch the clips out. Why Sunday? So BB Unlocked's going to be on Sunday because I think it's like football. I think that's what's happening. I know in a lot of places, the episode didn't even air at the right time for them. I think the Steelers or something were playing out in Pittsburgh or something like that. Yeah, Friday has the preseason football. So it's going to be something like that where it's moving to Friday. But there is also one other thing. Here's the thing. Derek kind of teased a little bit of a thing, and Rob kind of teased a little bit of a thing too. They talked about, you know, BB versus Survivor and what would ever happen if Rob lived in the Big Brother house. And I think these teases are very, very deliberate. I think with the new deals that Paramount is making and the moves that Paramount's making with the merger that's going on with Skydance, and they're really investing in Paramount Plus. They just signed a contract for $7.7 billion to get the UFC on Paramount Plus. So I would imagine since they want to invest in Paramount Plus so much, I have a feeling that the new owners, right, the new people in charge, I think they really believe in live content. And the only reality show that is fully based on what happens live in the moment is Big Brother. And I think that there's a very good chance that with another big thing that's coming up, you guys know what's coming up this fall, this winter? What happens every few years in the winter? Does anybody know? It's actually an even number of years. Anybody in chat know what happens every even number of years? It's a specific amount. And there's actually one that will happen in winter. Actually, there's two versions. Oh, Olympics. Yes, the Olympics and Celebrity Big Brother. Usually when the Olympics are going on, also World Cup. When does that go on? Is that more summer? I'm not sure. But the Olympics are coming up. Yes. And what happens when the Olympics happen? They usually do some kind of Celebrity Big Brother. The one year it was the reindeer games. I have a feeling that they might be doing something similar, whether it's Survivor versus Big Brother. There's also right now Survivor Australia versus the World. We're going to be talking about that later on when we jump into the chat, but we got more to talk about here. So I have a theory that there's going to be something really interesting going on, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think there's a lot of really cool things that are going to be happening here with the Big Brother universe, and I think it's a very exciting time to be a Big Brother fan, and I'm really hoping that good stuff are coming here. Moving on though, because we got to get to the feeds, because it was the wall competition. Who won the HOH comp? I know you guys are all itching to talk about this, because what a wild competition this was. Feeds came on kind of late, because normally what would happen with the wall competition, right after the episode ends, everybody would be dressed already for an athletic competition, an endurance comp. They would have their their sports gear on, and they would head out to the backyard, and then maybe like 20 minutes or so, maybe like a half hour, sometimes even an hour, right? Like sometimes it took a little bit longer. The feeds would eventually come on and they'd be on the wall and we'd get to watch it. No matter if the West Coast aired or not, it would just come on after the East Coast. That didn't happen this time. We had to wait. Like I said, it could have been Blockbuster were filming or whatever. So after the West Coast aired, it was probably about, I don't know, maybe a half hour after the West Coast airing would have finished up. That's when the feeds came back with the wall competition. It was really cool, actually, how they had it set up. A lot of differences from some of the previous years as well. They were on a big train. It had kind of these handholds that you had to hold on to. There was actually 3 of them, but really, unless you were really short, only 2 of them mattered. So you had the one that was on the top of them. They had one that that was kind of a lower handhold. And then for like most people, like Keanu, for example, the thing was like in the middle of his shoulder blades. Like he really couldn't use that as a handhold. He either had to go with the high ones or the low ones. So it was a change up from the kind of that 3 grip they were doing on the sides for a while. And it was overall a pretty decent showing, I think, from them. What was it last year? I think last year was only like 30 minutes or something for last year's wall comp. That not that impressive of a showing. This year, even Will got almost up to what last year's competition was, right? So like he did even a pretty good showing for himself. But then it wasn't until about that 30-minute mark when we started seeing people actually start dropping from the wall. First was Ashley and Will. I don't actually know which one dropped first. Feeds kind of cut. When they came back, they just both of them were on the side. So I didn't catch who was the first to drop. But then we also had Morgan not too long after. And what was really funny while I was watching it, I kind of called it. I saw Morgan's knees start kind of like trembling, and she was really kind of shaking in it. I was like, I wonder if she's staying loose. And then the way I saw like the way she was moving it, I was like, no, her knee is done. I don't know if she had like a sports injury or something like that previously, but I knew like almost she did not have long. And not moments after I said that, I have proof. I have receipts. We can watch it later. I can bring it up. I have proof that moments later she dropped, and it was one of the most dramatic drops that I've ever seen. There was a loud yell. Feeds went down, and they were down for a pretty long time. Here, medics did have to come on over and check on her. When Feeds came back, she had an ice pack on her knee. I think she's still kind of dealing with it, but I don't know. But I don't 100% know how her knee's doing now. It seemed like she was kind of fine, but she's just kind of roughed it up as she fell. After Ashley, Will, and Morgan, they ended up being the have-nots, and Mickey said it was really important for her not to be a have-not, so she held on just long enough to not be a have-not. She was the 4th one down. We then had Ava, and that's pretty much the whole one side of the house, right? Like that is pretty much everybody that was on the opposite side, except for Vince. So pretty much really with Vince having connections to the other side, there was a lot of moments where if he would have went with them, they all would have been safe. Every one of them would have been safe. Gina coming on in, hitting that subscribe button. Gina, you didn't know this, but when you hit that sub button, me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret, Gina. Nobody's watching right now. It's just me and you, Gina. Just me and you. We're going to the final 2. You hear anything about other alliance, don't believe anybody. Don't, it's not true. Me and you, going to the end. Thank you for hitting that sub button. So this is where things started getting a little bit crazy with this wall comp, because I think a lot of them started to feel a little bit comfortable, but they also didn't necessarily trust Vince. And Kelley, she starts like doing this back arch thing. She was really leaning far out. And I was like, Kelley, what are you doing? She's there, she's stretching her back out. And Keanu's like, does that feel good? Keanu's looking at her like, yo, bro, does that feel good? Let me try. And Keanu starts doing it. And then Kelley comes back, and next thing you know, she falls. Next thing you know, she starts arching her back again, and she falls. And Keanu's like, yeah, I don't know if I should do that again. he's up there like, oh no. And then what does he do? What does he do again? He starts doing it again. He starts doing the back arch again. I was like, Keanu, stop doing that. You already saw Kelley fall. I guess it felt good. Listen, I guess it felt good, and it was worth it, because then he falls too. It was wild. This is where whoever was in control of that wall, they started getting aggressive. They were getting really aggressive. At one point, there was a very steep angle to this thing. They had it almost like I would say like that. I don't know what kind of angle. I'm trying to show you like it was like this kind of an angle. They're hanging on it like this. It was steep. That thing was they started going a little crazy with it. And at one point, Lauren is literally hanging from just her hands on the hold. There's nothing touching the wall except for her hands. She's dangling her little feetsies down like this. Somehow she saves herself. There's literally a moment where just her hands are on the thing, and somehow she saves herself and pulls herself back onto the wall. It was insane. So they bring it on back, and then what do these guys do? They put it right back to the tilt. She starts dangling again. This time, almost gets back again, but does fall. It was an Olympic level effort. We were talking about the Olympics. For that effort, she gets the Rocky horns because that was a performance. Bravo, Lauren. That was something else. So then we're down to our final two. Vince and the one he went against when he voted out Rylie, Catherine. Listen, there is something about when your ally gets voted out of the game, you were on the wrong side of a blindside. There is something that fuels you in these endurance comps, right? Because that's really the name of the game with endurance comps. It's how much you can endure, how much you can push through. Your body does have a limit, but a lot of times before you get to that limit, your body's going to be screaming, let go, let go. But if you can push through that, you can get a little bit more juice in the tank. You can run that thing dry until your body physically gives up and you're just out of it. And Catherine was digging deep in this thing to win because she did not trust Vince at all. She needed to win this HOH in her mind because Vince just went against her, and then now it's down to these two. She cannot let up. As soon as Lauren fell too, Vince, he started talking right away. He was like, hey, what's going on over there? What's going on over there? Is everything good? Everything good over there? How you feeling, Catherine? You doing good? You think you can go a lot longer? And Catherine's just like, probably. she's yeah, no, probably. I could probably keep going on. I could probably keep going. And he's just okay. Just keep me posted, I guess, right? Like, you good down there, Catherine? Arash, I might be saying that wrong, but Arash, thank you for coming on in, hitting that sub button. Guess what? You didn't know this. When you hit that sub button, me and you, we now have a secret final too. Shh. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. It's a secret. If you hear anything in the chat about anything else, it's not true. Me and you, we're going to the end. Thank you for hitting that sub button. So it comes down to Catherine and Vince, and she's not giving up anytime soon. He's not giving up anytime soon. Because Vince, in his head, he's got to be thinking, well, I just voted out her showmance, right? Like if I don't end up on the block, if she wins HOH, I don't know what's going on in this game at all. So Vince is hanging on for dear life. Catherine is hanging on for dear life. But in the end, Catherine falls and Vince wins HOH. He wins the wall competition. It took about I want to say like an hour-ish. It was a little bit longer than an hour, I want to say. I don't know the exact time on it. Maybe somebody does in chat. But Vince pulls off the win in the wall competition. And listen, his time too, right? If you want to like kind of grade his performance on how well he did with other past wall comps, I want to say he wasn't going to be lasting too much longer than this. And I think like an hour or so is about like in the low average, right? Like this on the high end wall comps, I think there's been wall comps that have been 3 hours, right? 3.5 even, maybe even close to 4. Whereas on the low end, we've had ones that are like half an hour, right? I think on average though, like some of the more recent ones, because the old school ones are the ones that last longer. Therese coming on in with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Ready for Vince HOH. Tears, backstabs all week. It's going to be awesome. Because here's the thing. I really do like Vince. I think Vince is a flawed player, right? He's got a lot of flaws in his game, but his play style is one that I enjoy. I like that one where you're trying to just have your hands all over the place. He's sloppy with it, but that's kind of also fun, right? Sometimes a bad Big Brother player is better than a really good Big Brother player, but also I think Vince has a lot of really good tendencies. He's really good at just making you kind of want to trust him, right? I think a really good example of this recently is the conversation he had the other night with Rachel, where it was kind of the first time that I ever seen Vince and Rachel just having a good time with each other. And now it feels like Rachel actually does trust Vince. It feels like they're actually working a little bit as kind of a unit. I think he still has some doubts. I think he has a little bit of doubts in his head. But I think now Rachel's starting to think, you know what? Maybe I was wrong and maybe I can actually trust this guy. And I think it all started with that conversation where they were just talking about like old video games, like the Oregon Trail, and they were talking about Carmen San Diego, or things like Blockbusters, not the competition, but the actual physical Blockbuster store, and going to get a VHS or a video game. So it's awesome. Christy Joy coming on in, hitting that sub button. Christy, thank you so much for hitting that sub button. Listen, you didn't know this. Me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. It's a secret. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. Don't listen to anybody else about any other Final Twos. It's not true. It's not true. But it was a really great conversation between Rachel and Vince. And I think that really shows how good of a player he actually can be, even as flawed as he is. But now here's the thing. What is he going to do? Right? He voted with the judges, and he went against Keanu, Kelley, Catherine, and even a little bit Lauren, not 100% Lauren, right? Like, that's an easy fence to mend, right? Like, so what? You went against your ally on a vote. It's not like you voted them out or put them off the block or anything. Like, that's an easy thing, right? But it kind of is more against Keanu, Kelley, and Catherine. That's the one where it's like, hey, he really went against them. So what are his noms going to be, right? Is he going to try and maybe patch things up, or is he going to stick with the judges? It's going to be interesting. It's a big question. Mickey maybe could be a good one for him, right? It seems like everybody still kind of wants her out. Nobody really wants to trust her. But that's got a lot of mess to it as well. It's not going to be exactly easy to do that. Ashley could always be part of the plan as well, right? But she's part of the whole judges thing, so that's kind of complicated. And, you know, right, it's one of those things where if he does kind of pick a full side, right, you can't just say, like, you know, go against Morgan. You didn't want to go against Morgan. You kept Morgan in the game. That you could have voted her out, so it's not going to be somebody like Morgan. But, like, are you going to go and try and make things up with Keanu? I don't know. Like, what are your plans here, Vince? I think the biggest thing was once it came down to Catherine being up there, I think if Lauren would have stayed up, I think Vince would have thrown this to Lauren happily. Because then he can sit back and doesn't have to pick a side. But as soon as Lauren dropped out of the competition, this was kind of when he's like, Vince, I gotta win this. I can't let Catherine win this. She's gonna probably vote me out of the game. When the feeds came back, there was some whispering and stuff like that because he won, and then they went down for a little bit and they went all inside. They started cleaning up and making some food and stuff like that. The have-nots had to go and do all their stuff as well. There was a little bit of a thing too. Remember, like I said, Vince and Rachel had kind of teamed up a little bit there with that conversation they had the other night. They're now in the Judges Alliance. Now Vince has voted with her in this vote. And they started talking about, you know, had Catherine won HOH, like Vince fully expected it was going to be him that was going up. And it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, I had to win this. So it's really kind of interesting to see them talking about this. And Rachel was kind of saying that, like, hey, I don't think you should put Ava up, right? Like, that's something that maybe you shouldn't do, right? We could see about this. I think maybe we could still fix that. But Vince tells Rachel, like, hey, no matter what, like, I want to talk to you later. Like, I want to hear your thoughts on this so we can kind of like think this thing through. Also, according to Mickey, at some point, I don't know when this happened, probably when the feeds were down, like at some point, maybe when they were coming back inside. I didn't see this happen, but Mickey said that Kelley Catherine had told Vince he's dead to them. he's dead to them now that he voted Rylie out of the game. And then we also had Catherine and Mickey kind of talking where she said to Mickey, because Mickey in the end did vote out Rylie over Morgan, Catherine said, like, listen, I still love you, but I'm a little bit upset. And when she was talking about like how she feels about what Vince did, she says, you know, I'm going to go talk to him. But at this point, I'm so tired and I'm done with all this. Like, it's such bull. And she said, you know, when I do talk to him, I'm gonna give it to him, right? I'm not gonna dance around that. I'm gonna give it to him straight. I'm effing upset about this, right? Like, I'm pissed. I don't understand why he did it. He's gonna have to explain. And you know, it is what it is. She's like, I'm still gonna be upset, but that's how it is. It's the game. He's like, I don't want to kill you either, but like, still, it's like, hey, you know, I'm upset, and that's how she feels. We also had Mickey and Rachel talking, and she thinks the noms would end up being Ava, Catherine, and Kelley, with just Ava kind of as a pawn. But then she also told Ashley's like, you're probably gonna go up. Just so you know, like, who else would he put up, right? Like, it can't be anybody else, right? It's gonna be you, Ashley. Like, it's definitely gonna be you. The chance is gonna be Mickey. We ended up getting Morgan kind of talking to Catherine as well, or excuse me, Morgan talking to Rachel about Catherine as well. So, or about Mickey. So she was kind of telling Rachel in the storage room. She was like, yeah, she kind of like said it right to my face. Mickey did. She was like, she said, I had to tell Catherine that I was going to vote you out. And Rachel's like, wait, what? Like, she actually said that? She's like, yeah. It's like, that's crazy. I can't believe she would say that, right? She's like, yeah, I'm really mad. She's like, Vince is really pissed off too. Ohio John coming on in with the $5 super chat. Even with an HOH win, Vince had a messy jury house for himself. He does. But the thing is, I think if Vince got to the end, with a lot of the people that are left in the game, I think, depending on who he's up there against, right? I think he has a really good shot at this thing. I think Vince could make a really good argument on why he should win. And it really comes down to, I think he realized this, how much Rachel can probably control that jury. And I think it's one of the reasons why, like, he doesn't necessarily want to take the shot. And we're going to get into that a little bit here. Like, it's an option for him, but I think he wants to let somebody else take that shot at Rachel so he doesn't have her, you know, bitter at him. And she's hoping that the connections he's making with Rachel now, if she's out in jury, she will try and make sure that the best player wins, right? And I don't know, maybe it could be a thing. We'll see. Where were we at here? Oh yeah, so we were talking about Morgan telling Rachel. We did get Vince and Keanu kind of meeting up, and Vince says, like, you know, I could put Mickey up, like that could be an option. I could put Ava and Kelley and maybe even Catherine up because they all said I'm dead to them, right? For voting for out Rylie. And Keanu says, like, no, like, you need to make up with them, right? Like, you could put up Ashley. Keanu even says, like, you should nominate Rachel as a pawn. If Rachel goes home, oopsie. Keanu! What are you doing? Don't say that about Rachel. He's gonna tell her. Keanu says he realizes now, though, how slick Rachel is, and that she set this whole thing up and got Rylie on out of the game, even though, you know, it was a whole thing. And he says this week you should probably put up Ashley, Mickey, and Rachel as the pawn, right? Do that, and then you would fix things with Catherine and Kelley, and then you can kind of work with them again. We then end up with Ava, who's talking to Kelley, and she feels like all this week her emotions were all manipulated. So she's trying to, like, pass off blame a little bit on her vote and why she ended up voting the way she did. And then we also ended up with Vince, who talked to Catherine finally, but we didn't see much. They just went to the Be Right Backs. So I didn't get to see much of that conversation. They kind of withheld that from us. I guess maybe we'll have to hope out for the episode on Sunday. It is a 2-hour one with the Big Balloon Unlocked. There's lots of unseen content, so maybe we'll see that later. And I'm sure they're going to end up talking later. So what happened in that one, I can't really tell you. And then Morgan ends up kind of talking to Vince again. She says, like, listen, you know, like, we'll stay up later and we'll talk this out, you know. I want to get all your thoughts on everything. And eventually Vince does get his HOH room, and, you know, they kind of hang out. He reads his letter, does all his stuff, right? Eventually, like, everyone's kind of hanging out there for a while, right? Like, it wasn't really given a chance to do any one-on-ones, because I expected a lot of one-on-ones, to be honest. I thought it was going to be like boom, 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 lots of people in that HOH room. But instead, it didn't really actually go that way. And eventually, when everybody does leave, Vince is like, I think I'm just going to be a good guy and go to bed. I'm going to be a good boy. I'm not gonna do any crazy talks. I'm just going to go to bed. That's what I'm going to do. And he does. I was shocked. I was like, Vince is actually getting in bed. Lights were out. Night vision cameras on. Until thump, 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 thump. Here comes Morgan. Here comes Morgan. She said, listen, we're not doing that, buddy. I got to come on up here and have a conversation with you. She goes on up there, starts talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, hey!" And the lights were out and everything. Eventually, they turn the lights even back on because it's like, why bother having the lights out? Let's see each other here. So she goes over how mad she is at Mickey still, right? She's like, I almost went home. She was telling people that she was going to vote me out. Like, what is she doing? Vincent says, like, well, I guess it hopes it means that if she goes up, you won't be so mad. And Morgan's like, oh yeah, no, like you can put her up, like it's totally fine, like you know, you got to do what you got to do. And she's like, I can't take that shot, but you could take that shot, right? Like this is good. This is good news for me. I approve of this message. This is fantastic. So she's talking about all that, and then they start talking about potential nominees, right? Like who could be options to go on up. They talk about, you know, if Rachel, right? Maybe she's somebody that could go on up, right? Because if she would have won, like who knows? Like maybe she could have even taken that shot at Vince. Like, would she have been loyal? And if Rachel goes far, here's the other thing: if Rachel goes far, she has a real shot at winning this. And I think Vince is right. I think if Rachel ended up in those final two chairs, I think with a lot of the people in there, the way Keanu loves her, I think even if you know Ava loves her, Will would love her. There's Ashley who would love her. There's a lot of people who would end up voting for Rachel to win this game, I think, if she got to that final two chair. You cannot let her get there. And the farther you let her go, the more likely a chance that is. So they do talk about that. And you know, Morgan says, I don't know, maybe it is too early for that. And then here he kind of lays out like his possible options, right? Because here's the other thing about Rachel. Someone else is probably going to take that shot too, right? Like he could take that shot this week. But there's other people that will, right? Like, let's say Kelley survives this week. She would take that shot. You'd probably put Vince up next to her, but she'd probably take that shot at Rachel. We've heard her talk about that. She wants to send her the first one out in jury. So he goes over his options, right? His options right now would be Mickey, Ava, Kelley, Catherine, and Ashley. Those would be his 5 potential nominees. And at this point in the game, right, you almost need to have as many options as possible. Because should somebody win veto with 3 nominees, you always need to have a 4th and potentially even a 5th, right? Maybe that 4th nominee, maybe they're the one to win veto and use the veto on one of the people. And then you got to put the 5th person up, right? So you always have to be prepared for that. So those are kind of his 5 options. But then also Rachel, if he really wanted to take that shot. This isn't something that he's taken out of the equation already. So it's one of those things where keep an eye out, right? It's kind of like that itch he can't scratch, right? Like he's always thinking about it and he keeps throwing it out there. Now here's the thing too. Vince, like I said, I think Vince is actually a pretty good player. One of the things he could be doing here, right, is maybe he's not actually considering Rachel. Maybe he's just tipping Morgan off and kind of putting that in her head because he's really hoping that next week that Morgan would win HOH, keep him safe, and put up Rachel. And I think that's kind of his hope. But I don't know if he would be able to get Morgan to do that. I think Morgan kind of trusts Rachel a little bit more than that with the whole judges thing. I think Morgan at this point, she's like, yeah, let's just get rid of Mickey. Yep. Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you gotta go. Like she's all about that. Because Morgan says like, all right, well, you know, we'll have to all meet up with the judges, right? Like, let's make sure we meet up with the judges in the morning. So Morgan kind of pushes against that thought a little bit, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with what Vince wants to do. And with that, they finally went to sleep. And when I say finally went to sleep, they went to sleep like right as I hit live to start this update. Like I'm saying like literally at 8 o'clock. So one of the things was if I would have waited until I made a video, it wouldn't be out until like 9-10 o'clock because by the time I recorded it, it would have been this long, right? It would have been almost an hour long update. And then it would have had a rendered and then upload to YouTube. You would have been looking at the update at like 10 o'clock. So that's why we started going to Fridays in the first place, was exactly because of situations like this. And I'll tell you what, I always have the most fun on Fridays because what happens after the updates, we jump into the chat and we're about to do that now. Are you guys ready? Because it's going to be a good old time. I have a lot that we need to talk about, We need to talk about what happened in HOH, what you guys all think, who the nominees are going to be, all this stuff that we need to go over. Plus, on top of that, there's a lot of other great stuff we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about our fantasy football leagues. I have a lot of fun stuff planned. So anybody who wants to get involved in that, we're going to be doing that. We're also going to be talking about Survivor Australia versus the world. I'm telling you guys, if you're not watching this show, you need to. We're going to talk about it. Plus a lot of other cool stuff. Whatever you guys want to talk about, we're going to talk about it right now. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you've been watching and you're having a good time in this stream, smash that like button right now. Smash that like button as hard as you can. And hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Like I said, we do daily live feed updates here on the channel, first thing in the morning. We also have some watch parties, though, to be honest, we had some issues. There was some technical difficulties recently. But we also had a fun little secret one. There was a fun little secret one that went on. Also check out my socials. I think we just had actually, look at that, Botrix. Our little bot in the chat just came in clutch there, posting the socials. Check out all of our socials. So we got Twitter. Actually, here's the thing, guys. Listen, I'm really close to 1,000 Twitter followers. Like if we can get it to 1,000 Twitter followers, that would be really cool. Like, I'm just saying we're really close. We're really close. Just go hit that follow button over Twitter. We also have the Discord. Listen, the Discord's awesome. We just remodeled the Discord. So you can kind of find different places a lot easier. There's a Big Brother section. There's a Survivor section. If you want to watch our Survivor Australia, the world, you want to watch it. We're going to be talking about it later. There's ways. There's ways in the Discord. Also, make sure you're checking out all the other stuff in there, too. There's places where you can post pictures of your pets, what you were having for dinner, some cool kitchen pics. Whatever you want, there's always a spot in there. Plus, we also have our sports section where we can go over things. A couple of other things before we jump into everything else, because I did forget another thing. We have our allegiance chart. Our allegiance chart for the week. This is how I kind of have everything set up right now. As you see, some changes. Some changes on where I have people leveled on out right now. So I still think Will and Ava are probably in the best spot. Ava isn't really somebody who I think is going to be going on the block this week. I think Vince has other targets that he's going to look at, even though potentially maybe he should, right? Maybe that would be the easiest one because it's the one he's actually least connected to. And Ava's in such a good spot right now. Like nobody wants to put her up. And I think Vince is in a spot where he's right here in the middle, right? He's right in the middle of everybody. And I think if he were to take them out, that not only gives him like a little bit of leeway because those are less people that aren't going to be put up, right? Like you need people that are going to go up on the block, right? You need people who are going to end up putting like Rachel up on the block because they have no other choice. Because if they have a choice of Ava, they might take that shot at Ava before they take it at Rachel. So I think Vince almost needs that, and Vince needs to be able to use people like Rachel and Keanu as the shields because we are starting to get close to that end game where it's like, hey, if I'm next to Keanu, make sure I have the votes to stay. If I'm next to Rachel, I got to make sure I have the votes to stay. And I think Vince kind of is in a tough spot here. He has a lot of fences to mend, and he needs to get Rachel out, I think, the sooner the better, because that's going to give him the better chance. He's also kind of really relying on Lauren Morgan, I think, at the moment. And also the issue is he goes versus Lauren Morgan at the moment, and people know he's connected to Lauren and Morgan. That's not like a secret in there. So it's really interesting to see how this all goes. Lauren, actually, I guess maybe I'm actually going to make an executive decision because I think Lauren should go over this way. I think I only did it because Keanu didn't fit well there. We'll just kind of put Keanu a little bit like his top of the head's covering Kelley. We'll do this. We just made a live update to our allegiance chart. I made an executive decision. We just got a refund hit up. Someone came on in, anonymous just came on in, hit up the Ori fund for $4.20. Thank you so much, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. There is the Ori fund. I didn't even mention the Ori fund when I was talking about my socials, but you can hit up the Ori fund. It's a great way to support Oris everywhere. Great way. Thank you so much, Anonymous. Thank you. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And we made an executive decision. It came in right as we were doing it. As we made it to a Jojo. Happy 420. Ori's Twitter is so good, though. So, that is our allegiance chart for the week. Other than that, let me see. Is there anything else that we need to jump into? I don't think so. Who's this coming on in? I think we got two that are coming in here. I think another one's about to go. Yes, we got another one that went. We had April and we had Kimberly. April and Kimberly coming on in, hitting that subscribe button. Listen, April, Kimberly, I like both of you. I think both of you are pretty cool. But here's the thing. April, Kimberly, you guys didn't know this, but when you hit that sub button, we now have a secret alliance. And I get good vibes from both of you. So I think we should have a final three. April, Kimberly, you like each other's vibes? I think the three of us, we can ride it to the end. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. Appreciate it. Let's jump into the chat here. I want to hear from you guys, and then we're going to talk about some other interesting stuff as well. My YouTube is messing up. Oh, no. Well, that's a shame here. I'm going to actually do this, too, because I want to get a better view of the chat, actually. We also had our poll up. I'm going to end this poll. We had Team Cherries versus Team M&Ms. We're going to end the poll and see what the results are. Unpin that message, too. We had 68% for Cherries, 31% for M&Ms in our poll there on who you guys were on the team. Obviously, if you guys don't know, the Team Cherries, Rachel kind of uses the cherries when she's kind of mapping out the game. And also Jimmy was kind of into that one too. I think Jimmy might have started it. I also think Ashley did it too. Ashley did it with the cherries. And then at one point she had Vince as the mango. She had Vince as like the big one. And then the M&Ms, originally, this season, Morgan was the first one to grab the M&Ms, but she's actually kind of mad at Mickey because Mickey stole it. So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So what's going on, chat? How are you guys? We got Stacked in Florida, JoJo's Variety. How are you guys? Dina the Explorer. Listen, if you guys don't know Dina's awesome. She has her own YouTube channel. I highly recommend going to check her out. She's a lot of fun. She talks about Big Brother. Go check Dina out. Ava should go up for calling him Vinny the Lip Panero, but she didn't. When she was saying it originally, she had an issue because she didn't know Panero was his last name. She's like, "What's his last name?" Punani. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. I don't even know if that's allowed. I fell out of the chat, but I'm back. Let's go, JoJo. Glad you're back. What do we got? Morrow, definitely ride Uri until the end. Exactly. Ride or die until the end. Vince is gonna nominate Rachel. I think 2 double evictions after jury. Ooh, that would be fun. Morgan losing it over the M&Ms was awesome. Who were the last two on the wall? It ended up being Vince and Catherine, who were the last two on the wall. It was a wild time. Speaking of, I have an idea for something that I'm going to be doing. I have a really cool idea for a video. And other than the update, if you guys see another video pop up, kind of just a random video, you guys see it, it's really important that you go and you click it when it jumps into your sub box, because when the more subscribers and viewers watch a video when it comes out, the better it ends up doing. So if this thing comes out, I will need your help with that. Just go and click and watch it. Just click and watch it, because I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it. I think you're going to like it a lot. Ava's funny, but not a game player. She does a little bit, but she also, like, she's got a little bit of that issue, like Lauren, where it's a little indecisive at times. Stack says, no exit interview for Rylie per Dalton Ross. Maybe next week. But he can't battle back because Julie told him who voted for and against him. Interesting. I wonder why there wouldn't be exit interviews. I can't imagine why there wouldn't be. Is that Bondo? No noms yet. Noms won't be until today. They're all sleeping now, finally. But what's up, Bondo? And then Balties, I see you over there. What happened to Pete? Pete's there. Pete's in the eviction pile. He's in the eviction pile. Somebody finally cleaned up Pete, I think is what happened. Somebody cleaned up Pete. Let me move these over here so I can see those as well. I wonder if Rylie had a meltdown on BB Unlocked. Did they even approach it though? Did they even approach it? I don't know. I don't think they would on BB Unlocked. What's that say? Oh, Little pushback. He's running a little late. He run a little late. Is that what happened in Stacks? Or who said that? Who said? Yeah, he's running a little late. Interesting. BRB got a potty, no problem. Actually, oh, Gloria. Well, when you get back, Gloria, let me know. When you're back, we got to do something. We got to do something. Let me see here. How's like the YouTube going? It does say like it's a little bit unstable. This is a little bit unstable. YouTube's not receiving enough. Might experience some buffering. Hopefully everybody's good though. Hopefully everybody's good. Actually, you know what I'll do too? Because that's like playing there. I don't need that playing. And that probably slows some things down. If I can pause those, that'll probably help. YouTube's good? All right, YouTube's good. Let's go, birds. Absolutely starting my channel soon. Absolutely. Looks fine. We did have momentary lag on YouTube. Good though. Okay. Okay. It actually, now that you say that too, it says healthy. It actually says healthy. I think what I did helped a little bit. I think it helped a little bit. I like the noms. I gotta do two, Donnie. The thing is, it's tough where he's gonna go. It's tough. What is that? Carol! Huh? Coming on in with the $20! Carol! I made a funny. Carol! You just came in, dropping that. You crazy. You crazy. You get the Rocky for that, though. You get the Rocky. You say, Ori, can you help me watch the Australian Survivor? I have NordVPN, and I'm using an iPad, and it won't let you. Well, Carol, I can actually help with that. I can actually help with that. Now, here's the thing. You got to join the Discord. Because if you join the Discord, there are links that are very easy to follow. I don't know if I could say much more. YouTube's freezing once in a while. Maybe refresh, because I think what it was, I think it was backing up a little bit. So if you're live watching, maybe refresh, and it should kind of fix any issues. So if you join the Discord, yeah, go Bucks, right? Go Bucks. We can go Bucks, because they're you know what, a buccaneer is what a pirate says when he's buying corn. But you can also use a VPN. If you have a VPN, you should be able to use it on 10Play, the 10Play app. I don't know if you can download the 10Play app, but they have a website as well. But if you're on an iPad and you're on the Discord, there's other ways to watch it well. Really easy and convenient. Really easy and convenient. Plus, it's just kind of awesome because people are always chatting about what's going on. Internet monsters are back. Are we good now? Hopefully we're good like at the moment. But yeah, internet was failing me. I think listen, if you guys wanted proof, there was the proof, all the buffering. I told you there was something happened with my internet. My whole neighborhood was out for a little bit. It was crazy. Place in here for the Cowboys for life. I know. No, not the Cowboys. Ori, I joined the Discord. Are we in the final two? Yes. Yes, baseball. Yeah. The baseball purist. We are 100%. Also, the baseball purist. You know what I'm obsessed with right now? I imagine you're a baseball fan. I am obsessed right now with the Phillies closer. Duran is a monster. The Durantula is insane. He's got one of the most epic entrances that I've ever seen for a closer. He comes on out and he's got the Undertaker gong, and then he has this custom mix of a song that like you can't even get the actual mix of this. The DJ did it like just for him. And it is amazing. They do like crazy light pulsing stuff, and it's this like I think it's a Pitbull song and mixed with somebody else. I forget what the song name. It's like L something. For like the other guy, because it's like two songs mashed up, and it's so good. It's so good. And I'm obsessed with it. Cat should be mad at Lauren. It's 100% on her. Well, Lauren voted with her, So the one she's upset with is Vince, because Vince could have flipped it. Go Phil, absolutely Phil, David. Go Phils, ring that bell. Hunt for Red October, baby. Rylie probably got. Oh no, Cara. Cara, what are you trying to make me say? What are you trying to make me say? He might have. It's possible. It's definitely a possibility. Diehard Philly fans, I'm hoping to see you Duran tomorrow. Ooh, see, that's the thing, Sam. I kind of want to go to a game too, but I'm so busy. So I'm hoping we get some good October games, right, Sam? I'm hoping we get some good October games. Because I need to see that entrance in live. I need to see it in person. I need to see it. Who's that coming on in? Is that Gotham? Might be Gotham. Gotham. I might be saying it wrong. And listen, I apologize. So make sure, let me know, put it phonetically in the chat. Let me know what's going on. But you just hit that sub button, and you might not know this, but when you hit that sub button, me and you, we now have a final two. The secret though, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. If you hear anything in chat about, anything about a final, don't believe them. It's just me and you. We're going to the end. We're going to the end. Thank you for hitting that sub button. Kean, who's bad at this game? He is Norma. We talked about the conversation he had with Vince, where he basically threw Rylie or threw Rachel under the bus, saying she should go up as a pawn. So now Vince can go tell Rachel everything he needs to bury Keanu with her. He'd be like, yeah, he told me to put you up as a pawn. He said, if you go home, oopsie. So why, like, he can build an even stronger bond with Rachel in the hope that if after this HOH, if he doesn't take out Rachel, Rachel would keep him safe, go after someone like Keanu. I would hope. And that would maybe build some trust with him and Rachel, buy him another week if she happens to win HOH. Or also, the thing is, here's the bigger piece. Here's the bigger piece. Let's look at our allegiance chart real quick. Rachel has a lot of sway over on the other side. Let's say Ashley were to win. Rachel would have a lot of say on who should go up. So maybe if he can build a good bond with Rachel, he's safe if Ashley wins. He's also got bonds with Ava. And he kind of worked with Ava a little bit himself here, even on the vote, and they voted together, and they ended up being on the same side. They made that decision. They went with it together. So though I think he's throwing Ava's name out there, he wants people to think he's not close with her. He's building that bond. He's building that trust a little bit. I think Ava's going to trust Vince a lot because of how all this vote played out, and he's going to support her in the fact that they both voted against Rylie, even though they didn't really want to. So I think this is actually going to bring them closer, and that's somebody else that maybe doesn't put them up, right? Rachel would probably have a good say with Will, right? Rachel and Will are pretty close. So hopefully Vince is saying like, hey, Rachel is the keystone of this whole situation. If I can be good with Rachel, maybe that buys me time with that other side. He now just has to worry about, hey, Keanu's kind of on the other side, right? Where he's good with Lauren. That should always be okay. He did go on the other side of the vote with her, but they should still be good, right? And if he can get Keanu, maybe he can get Kelley and Catherine, but they're dead to him, they say. So that's a whole thing. Oh, Jen, will Rylie have already talked to his parents at this point? Usually not. It's one of those things where a lot of times what will happen is they'll put you in a hotel. He might have actually had his phone back. I don't know. I don't remember when they get their phone back. It's not like immediately, right? Like they don't just like throw you into it right away. I also imagine that maybe he's gonna get a little bit of polish. I think they're gonna take that turd and they're gonna try and polish it a little bit. Right? Like I think they're gonna try and make it not appear as it's kind of been appearing. Right? Like I think that's kind of their move with it. So yeah, I would imagine that's why the delay happened with any exit interview. Ori, are you doing a watch party on the 9/4 during the season opener? Oh wait, that's going to be a thing, isn't it? Is that a Thursday? I never even thought of that. The kickoff, right? Oh, kickoff. guys, guys. The Eagles are going to kick off during the eviction. Guys. Maybe it'll be a nice, just condensed. We'll have it on the side. I'll be watching. I'm going to be honest. My attention will be diverted. There may be times where Julie's saying something. And I go, oh, yeah. I'm going to be looking over here. Yeah, the Cowboy versus Eagles game. That's a big one, too. It's huge. And the banner's dropping. Oh, Willow's just cruising. He's in a good spot. Or you got to choose NFL or BB. That is a Sophie's choice if I've ever heard one. First name greatest. That is a choice you're making me do here. I don't like it. I don't like that choice. They're mine. They're both. PT coming on in with the $5 super chat. Cry. I normally give hearts. On the road to misery. Sigh, Eagles. Sigh. Chiefs on revenge. 1, 2. No! No, PT. Not happening. Not happening, PT. Not happening. Eagles all the way again. Eagles all the way again. Did you see the rings? They got wings that like pop out. They're awesome. Oh, boys. All right. Since we're on some football real quick, right? We can get back to BB. We're always going to be talking BB during the season. That's not even a question. But one of the things I wanted to do is a fantasy football league. And I set up some cool stuff. So first off, we have a survivor pool. And I'm going to post this. I posted it in the Discord. But I'm also going to post it up here in the YouTube chat. We'll put it over on Kick. Laura! What's up, Laura? And we'll put it on Twitch. So you can find the link. I'll post it here again in the chat just a couple of times in case it's moving too fast. So that is a link to a survivor pool, right? So how that works, basically you just pick a team that you think's going to win. And if you lose, you're eliminated. You're out. But if you get it right, you move on and you go to the next week. Thing is, that team you picked, I'm pretty sure in the rules you cannot pick again. So let's say week 1, I was like, yeah, Eagles are beating the Cowboys and the Eagles win. I can't pick the Eagles again to win, right? So you kind of have to like choose which teams you pick when and like which teams like you're confident with and stuff like that. And then I have something else, and this one's a little bit different. So that's one thing you guys can join. There's also links if you guys want to join later in the Discord. So in the Discord, in the sports section, there's links to all these as well. If you want to be able to join later, if you can't join right now, or if you want to think about it, you can join later. In the Discord, we got links to all these. The other one I want to do, and this one's a little harder to join. So what I had to do was to set up a Google form here. So you can sign up for this one here. I'll put the link in chat here too, but this is also in the Discord as well. And what this one is, it's harder to get people in. I need your email, but that's just going to then send you a thing. It's all through Yahoo as well. So we already have one league in the fantasy football, just regular fantasy football on Yahoo. The survivor pool's on Yahoo. And then this is also on Yahoo, but they don't have a link to let people join. But here's what's fun about this one. This one's a pick'em pool. So each week, you're going to pick every game, and it's against the spread. These are all free, by the way. There's no like buy-in or anything. It's just for bragging rights and fun with the community. And I thought it would be just a thing. If you want to sign up, there's no pressure. You don't have to sign up, but these are just a couple of fun options. We also, though, have the Fantasy Football League. There's a link to the Discord one, or the one that in Discord right now. And here's the thing. If we have enough interest in another fantasy football league, right? Because there's already, I think, like 14 people in one league. If you're not in that league and you're not already in the one we did last year, I could always set up another one if we have enough interest, right? So if you go into the Discord, if you are interested, I'll put another like post in there or something. Or I think there's a post already that has reactions. And I think it's around like 17, which if that includes people that are in the league already, then we probably wouldn't have enough to do like 2 leagues again. But we could also just do another league and just see how much of it fills up, right? So that's an option as well. But like I said, if you really want to get in on those, in the Discords, probably the easiest way to get the links, posted them in the chat there too. But just some fun little stuff we can do during the football season. Let's see here. What else did I want to cover? Again, we can always jump back into the BB stuff. I'm going to answer some chat here, but we're going to start talking about Survivor Australia versus the world as well, because it is awesome. I cannot tell you guys how much I love it. Is it because of how the social media reacted towards it? So Laura, I don't know exactly. But yeah, apparently, Laura, they are not doing exit interviews with Rylie right away. They're delayed. No exit interview for Rylie. I imagine they're gonna give a little polish to that turd, give him a little bit of media training or something like that. We'll see how it goes. Dang, did Vince win HOH? Yes, he did. He won HOH. He was that last one on that wall, and it was pretty cool. I'm seeing his PR team put a stop to it. Also, his mom threat. Did she threaten to sue? Yeah, the thing is, though, what is she going to sue for? See, that's another thing, right? Like, she can't. What is she going to sue? What is she going to sue? If anything, right? I guess technically you could do a thing with Catherine's. I would say Catherine's family has more of a right to sue. I'm getting honest. Listen, I've told you guys before. I'm very trying to be unbiased with the whole situation, right? And here's one of my things. I said in the original time I talked about this that I'm a goofy dude on the internet, right? Like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but here's my point of view on it. I don't think he did anything enough that was to get him kicked off the show. That doesn't mean he didn't do anything, right? I think his behavior has some issues to it, but it's not enough to get him kicked off the show, right? And it was one of those things where there were a lot of people who disagreed, and they're like, but this trauma is enough. And I was like, I get it, right? And there are people who have suffered from situations where they were in very bad relationships, and I feel like that is a terrible thing. Another thing, though, is I feel like you can't, like, people were trying to say like one trauma is worse than the other, because my stake on it is, at the end of the day, Big Brother is trauma. Do you guys know there's this story actually just came out fairly recently, right? Everybody knows Frankie Grande, right? He told a story where when he got out of that house, he grabbed his sister Ariana and pulled her into a bathroom so that they could have a conversation, and whispered it to her. He was like, hey, so what do you think about, going to get some lunch or something? Like, and the way he did it, like, Ariana's like, all right, yeah, like, of course, right? But why are we in the bathroom? Like, what are we doing in here? Almost everyone that leaves this house, right? Almost every house guest that leaves this house has some kind of issues they got to work through as they get back into normal life. It's all trauma, right? And it's like, I just get a little weirded out when people are like, but this trauma is worse. And it's like, no, like, I think all trauma is the same. Like, and nobody should experience trauma, right? But a lot of what was happening in it is already stuff that was happening. And is this a situation that makes it worse? Absolutely. It's kind of like when Taylor was getting bullied. She's already in this pressure cooker of a situation, and then she has to deal with these people that are just, really just saying the worst things to her. And she's having to deal with that as well as playing the game. And it sucks when it happens, but you can't kick them out, right? Like, you can't kick somebody out for that. It's just, it sadly is part of the game. Now, again, I understand that there's the idea that potentially these could be things that could lead to worse things down the line, and there's escalation and all that other stuff. But it's I get that, but also you can't really punish somebody before they do something, right? You gotta keep that in check. Totally watch for it, right? Like, don't just be like, oh, it's whatever. Like, you gotta watch for it. And the other thing too is that I also like I said, I had some good conversation. You guys know what I try and do here. It's always a conversation. And if you disagree with me, that is totally okay. And we can have that conversation. And maybe even I'm going to have a little bit of a different view on things. I actually had a really good conversation. Somebody had reached out in the DMs. They were like, I don't think it's the, I think I want to post on YouTube or anything. But I just want to reach out and say this. And we had a really good back and forth. And one of the things they said that actually kind of stuck out too was the idea of if you don't take a side on it, It feels like you approve of it, and it's like, I get that. I get that. One of the other things is too, is like, I guess at this point, right? Like, uh, listen, like I said, I'm a goofy dude on the interview, but it's not one person watching me anymore. I'm still surprised more than one person watches me anymore. But with that comes a little bit of responsibility, I guess, right? Like there's responsibilities. I don't want those responsibilities. Those responsibilities are tough. Don't put that on me. I'm just, like I said, right? It's like I already said I wasn't good with this. It was one of those. I hate that side of it, and I was why I always try and just stick with like the game stuff, because that house is nuts. That house literally puts you through so much issues. There's people even like who were on Big Brother who I don't even know if they're still good today, right? Like not even like recent seasons. I think there's people that were like fully messed up after that show and never got good again. And it's a thing that happens. All these players get on my nerves. I'm only watching them on television. I couldn't imagine living with them. Have no outside world contact. It's the worst, right? It's the worst. And I heard somebody like before, like compare it to jail. And it's like, yeah, but even jail, right? Like you're locked up, you can't leave. You're only stuck with the people that are in there. But then like jail, like there's also TVs a lot of time in jail. It would be like being in solitary with 20 people, right? It's like a whole nother level of it. And like nobody experiences stuff like that except for the people that are in this house. And it's a crazy mind bending experience. In fact, one of the things Rachel and Vince were bonding over the other night was how this game warps your reality and affects your mental health. And it's just so hard sometimes. Almost everybody, they go in there, it's like, oh, I'm not going to cry. And then they go in there and they cry, right? Like it is just, it happens. It's how this game affects you. And it is trauma. Right. And like, I feel like at the end of the day, like trauma is trauma. It doesn't matter what the trauma is, that like, that is not fun to experience. Some people experience more trauma than others. That's for sure. But it doesn't necessarily make one better or worse or any of it good. Or it depends on Ava's aura at the time. Don't blame her. She can't help it. So is Lauren and Vince not on the same page? They kind of are. But they didn't vote together. And I understand Lauren being like, listen, I can't vote Rylie out. Like, me and Catherine are too close, and it would game wrecking for me. And Vince is like, I kind of have to, I think. But even before that, right, like, he was saying that he was leaning towards Rylie. Even to Lauren. Actually, Jen, I don't like when I agree with you. I don't like when I agree with you, Jen. But yes, trauma is not a competition. Mickey's downfall on this chart. It is Jimbo. It's crazy, her downfall. Crazy. You're fun to watch, Ori. I'm glad I woke up to you. I'm wide awake now. Let's go, JoJo. She's closer to Catherine. Well, the thing is, the only reason I have Catherine so far over is like she's very against the other side, whereas Lauren's working with Vince, so I want to keep that kind of connection there too. And then she's closer to Vince than Keanu and Kelley. So that's kind of why I have her so far over. But yeah, she is closer to Catherine than she really appears on the chart. But it's a thing. It's a thing at the moment. I'll switch over there and we can have our full board on up. I heard Kat and Kelley said, yes, Stack, they did. I didn't hear them say it, but Vince said it. And Mickey said it. And I assume they said it to him. But I don't know that for sure. I wanted Keanu to win. It would have been fun to see Keanu win, I think. Because I also don't think Keanu would have put up Vince. He would have been like, listen, I'm seeing the bigger picture here. Like, I don't like it, but I get it. Mickey Eagles Scarface is a fun show. People look for clown shoes, dressing up as an egg. Exactly, right? Like, and that's my thing too. I only want the fun. And do bad things happen in there? Yes, absolutely. And it sucks. It sucks. I can't tell you how much it sucks when that happens, especially being somebody who has to talk about it every day. And it's like, I at this point, I can't get away from it, right? Like, I have to talk about it. So, yeah, it sucks because I hate talking about it. I don't like that stuff either. I don't like it. It's no fun, and it's also not my strength. And I know that, and I mentioned it in the first time I said it. Surprised Rylie owned his mistake. I made no sense to him to not try for a bigger number during that. Right? It was crazy. It was an instant lose. As soon as he locked in after Morgan, it was an instant lose because they were tied. I need Vinchel back. Or I need Vinchel this week. More Vinchel. They got a fun dynamic. They do. I still love the dynamic between Keanu and Rachel. That's probably my favorite. Will and Ava's dynamic is fun too. But I really like if Vince and Rachel work together, it would be really interesting. But like Vince knows he can't take her to the final two. That's for sure. Because again, if she gets to the final two, there's a really good shot she would be the first two-time winner. And don't you say Nicole. You say Nicole, I'm banning you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to ban you. I'm not going to ban you if you say Nicole, but he's not the first two-time winner. There is no two-time winner. But Rachel could be if she got to the final two. Ori the Ori play-by-play of The Wall was close to watching it on live TV. Thank you. Just Jelly, were you there? Listen. That scared the crap out of me. I did not expect that. Dance Monster coming on in, following over on Kick. Thank you so much. Then we had Phil. Phil coming on in, hitting that sub button. Phil, you might not know this though. When you hit that sub button over on YouTube, me and you, we now have a secret alliance. But shh. Don't tell anybody, Phil. Secret. But we're going to the final two. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. If you hear anything about any other final twos, don't trust anybody. This is a chat full of liars. Listen, everybody else. Phil, yeah, we're good. We're good. We're all going to the final two. I was there. Yes, everybody who was there on Kick last night. It was a lot of fun. I'll just say this. It was a lot of fun. Also, we got a little something to do here. We got a little something to do. It is somebody's birthday today. It is somebody's birthday. Girls. Gloria. Not today, but it was Gloria's birthday. It was Gloria's birthday. Not today. Not today. But it was. And then there was a bunch of other ones too. I think there was another one. I think it might have been Psychotic Velvet, maybe. And then somebody else here. I can't see the name. But one of the things we do, and we kind of kept forgetting to do these. We used to do them all the time back in people who've been here a long time. For the long time Oreos. People know we used to do this at like the start of every update. But then it became a thing. Here's the thing. It became a thing where every day I was having to do them. And every day there was like 50 of them. And then I started to be like, all right, listen, I don't know if I can do the birthday songs anymore. I don't know if I can do them. I don't know. It was like, I don't know if I can do them anymore because it's so many. It's so many. So what we're going to do for not just this month in August, we're going to do for July as well. We're going to get everybody here. If you have a birthday in July, if it passed, if you have a birthday this month in August, if it already happened, if it's coming up, we're going to do a little birthday song for you. We're going to do a little birthday song for you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? This is your birthday song. It isn't very long. Anyway, let's move on to Survivor Australia versus the World because this is the greatest show in the history of reality television. Happy birthday, guys. Seriously, happy birthday. If it was your birthday in July, August, happy birthday. But Survivor Australia. Listen, I'm telling you guys. All right, because here's the thing. I'm going to pull up a picture. I'm going to pull up a picture of this cast for Survivor Australia versus the World. And if you're not a Survivor fan, I get it. But that's also like, here's the thing. You don't need a lot to really jump into this because it's going to be short. It is only 16 days this season, but like the cast they got is insane. It's insane. Let me pull this up here. There's going to be people you know from Survivor. There's going to be people you know from other reality TV shows. Probably if you watched Deal or No Deal Island, you're going to know some of these people. This is the lowest quality picture I've ever seen in my life. Why Why is all of these pictures the lowest quality thing I've ever seen? Why is this the lowest quality picture? I just want a cast photo that's not taken with a potato. Is this right? Yeah. Copy this and I'll paste it over here. Because I'm telling you, the way they edit this show, the way they film this show, the gameplay on it has been amazing. This is the cast of all the people who are on the show. And you'll see there's two different teams. There's the Australian team. So I don't know if you can see my my mouse or not. Yeah. You got the Australian team here. George. George is an amazing player. He was known as King George. The guy's got an idol, a hidden immunity idol tattooed onto his chest. Shoni, another really great player. Kirby, honestly, she was one of my favorite players on her season. Really love Kirby. David, if you guys watched Deal or No Deal Island, he was on Deal or No Deal Island with somebody else that's on the cast. Luke, another one of my favorite Survivor Australian players. Really fun. He's kind of a little bit got Tony to this to him. He used to do like Spy Shacks, kind of like Tony as well. But he's a really good player. Janine, she's all right. Listen, Janine's there, right? Sarah, there's a lot. I don't even want to say a lot about Sarah. You'll just see. You'll watch and you'll learn about Sarah real quick. And then there's the World Tribe, right? So a completely different thing where they're bringing in people from all around the world. We got 3 US heavy hitters. You got Tony, Sari, and Parvati. Some of the best to ever play. If you know BB, you know Sari. Sari, if you were a big fan of her on BB25, you can watch her play Survivor here. And then we also have Rob, who was from Survivor South Africa. Lisa from New Zealand, who, listen, Lisa is, I don't want to spoil anything because there's only 3 episodes that are out. So if you want to watch it this weekend, it's a good time to catch up because Sunday is the next episode. And like I said, if you join the Discord, there's easy ways to maybe watch stuff. And Sari is on there. Lisa, there's a comparison to Lisa for BB. I'll just say that. Tommy's from Finland. And then we got Cassandra. She's from Survivor Quebec. And this is all the players, right? It's a small cast, very small cast, but it's fast paced. It's only going to be like 16 days that they're doing it. There's already been 3 episodes. I think they're getting ready to go into the merge in this next set of episodes and kind of make our way into the final. Because I think there's 3 episodes and then 1 more on the next Sunday. I think that's all the episodes. So it's fast paced. It's going to be quick. And I highly recommend checking it out. There's ways go to Discord. Because I'd love to talk about it with more of you guys, but I know there's probably a lot of you who have not even seen it yet. So I just highly recommend go checking it on out. Let's see what you guys are saying up in the chat. Where did my chat go? I lost it. We lost the chat. I'm blind to you guys. Here we go. We're back. AU comps. Yes, they are. Yes, the AU comps are top notch. They do a lot of really good ones, and they're different ones from the US, right? Like one of the times on one of the seasons, they basically had a tag team cage match. I'm not kidding you. They took a cage and they put it out in the middle of the water, right? So there was like about I want to say thigh high water that they were standing in. And then there was a giant cage. It was an octagon cage that they had to climb up. First out wins. It was literally escape the cage to win. And sometimes they put it was 1-on-1. Sometimes they put 2-on-2. And it was literally a tag team cage match out in the water. It's the most amazing Survivor challenge I've ever seen in my life. But they always do really good challenges. The way they edit things are amazing. Here's the other thing, right? The episodes end up being about an hour long. Sometimes they go a little shorter. Sometimes they'll go a little bit longer. But the average Survivor Australia episode will be about an hour. And if you had commercials in there, because most of the times I end up watching it, there's no commercials. If you had commercials in there, guess what that would be? 90 minutes. Here's the difference, though. 90-minute episodes for Survivor US compared to 90-minute episodes of Survivor Australia are not the same. The content you get is about an hour long, but in Survivor Australia, you're getting an hour of game. They are playing from the moment the episode starts till that moment that last vote is read. It is all game and strategy. There's no fluff. There's no Taylor Swift songs. Which one's your favorite? I can list all the Taylor Swift songs. This is how I like my steak cooked. Nice and well done, because we all like our well done steaks. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I like a medium well. Like just a little bit of, like I like that little bit of like the extra char, and sometimes they don't get the good char on there. So I always go like medium well, because then I get a little bit of the best of both worlds, and it's not super dry, and it's not going to be like, sometimes also like you don't know where you're going, right? If it's a really good steakhouse, like really good, I'll go less. I'll go less. But like if I'm just getting like an average thing, all right, like if I'm getting like a you know, but they're getting well dones. They're always getting the well done. But none of that fluff is in Survivor Australia like it is in Survivor US. It is a different show. It is on a different level. It's so much better. And I'm telling you, if you haven't watched it, if you watched Survivor in the past and you were like, yeah, you know what? It's not as good as it used to be, right? Because now Survivor, they'll have things where they're singing at the immunity challenge, right? They're doing like the show tune. There's show tunes in Survivor. What did we get to here? Right? No, Shelly, they film in Samoa. And that's another thing I like, Shelly. I'm sick of Fiji. I am sick of Fiji. Every single season is Fiji. I'm over it. I'm done with it. So I think what it is, Samoa hasn't lost its charm to me. Samoa looks awesome. Samoa is beautiful. Not saying Fiji isn't beautiful, but like at this point, I've seen enough of Fiji. Like I know like every inch of that island, I feel like, and I've never been there. You know? It's like, it's just too much. It's too much. And I'm telling you, the way they shoot too, because like it looks cinematic. It's so much more, you know what I describe it like? When you're watching an episode of Survivor Australia, sometimes their drone shots and stuff, it reminds me of like the Dark Knight or the Christopher Nolan movies, right? Like the way their cinematic is, the way the music they use, it reminds me of watching a Christopher Nolan movie. It's the filmography on it is just out of this world. And I can't tell you enough how good this show is. It's one of the best. It feels like we were talking about the Olympics earlier. This feels like the Olympics of reality TV shows. It feels awesome. And it's like, man, if Big Brother would do this too, right? If Big Brother would do something like this, if they would get like all the best from around the world, or if they would just do like, you know, a shortened condensed season, which I think is something that might be coming up in the fall, right? Like it's 16 days, but it's wild and fast, right? You could do something similar with Big Brother, right? The Celebrity Big Brother seasons, they're only like a month and change. It's not that much of a commitment. And the only way to get a lot of these big players back, right? If you wanted to get back someone like a Dr. Will, who would be almost impossible to get back. But if you want to get back someone like Derek, I don't think is going to play 80 days again. You're going to make Derek come back for 80 days when he can go do the Traders? Do it for 2 weeks? Right? It's too long of a thing to get people to commit to come back. Rachel's crazy for coming back and doing it. Rachel's crazy for doing it, but she did it. And I think we're going to get some kind of like shortened, hopefully legend season. Cause like the celebrity ones are fun, right? But I'd like to see like heavy hitters come on in, right? And maybe they do Big Brother versus the world, right? Maybe it's Big Brother All-Stars versus the world. And you get people like Derek. Maybe you get Dan back in there, right? Maybe you get Rachel back in there and Janelle, and maybe you bring Danielle Reyes on over. You see this team I'm building here? Then you get Rob. Then you get CT. Maybe Sari gets thrown in there, and Sari, it's like which side she's actually on. Is she on a Big Brother side? I don't think so. She would end up being on the world side because she's done more of that. Maybe you get like Parvati in there. Sandra. Otter Sandra would be a fantastic member in there. Sandra would be awesome. Right? I think this could be a lot of fun. Jervis, go old. Get Richard. All right, Richard might be live feeds might be cut a lot. If they want ratings, if you want those live feeds popping, you make it actually unfiltered, actually uncensored, and you throw Richard effing Hatch in that house. I'm telling you, you do a short season, I think Richard's down. If it's like a month, I think Richard would be down. And that would be crazy, wouldn't it? I'm telling you, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. I really don't. Wes would be a great one. Wes would be a great one. Susan, Memphis, I would like. Like I said, there's so many options. There's so many options. You guys are doing great options. Let's see. Plus Vince has the Judges Alliance to work with her. Maybe he goes with the Judges. Maybe he tries to patch things up. I'm not sure. I'm still not sure what he's gonna do. The challenge was great. I haven't seen the challenge. I'm not caught up. I have some things I need to do today. How long we've been streaming? What time is it? Yeah, we'll keep going for a while. We'll keep going for a bit. We'll be hanging. Yeah, you saw the banana news? I saw the banana news. I heard Bananas was saying some stuff, Banana was saying some stuff that maybe some people out of context, if they heard Bananas saying this, if out of context, some people would think Bananas wasn't patriotic. Some people would think Bananas wasn't patriotic, and they might not understand what Bananas was talking about. They'd be like, why is a banana talking about the country? Why is there a banana that's so unpatriotic talking about what this country's doing? Why would a banana be talking about a country and what they're up to? Oh no, Glenn, you're getting bondoed? What happened? What did you say? Or did you update the draft? I think I did. Here, we'll go put that back up. Let me check. I think these are up to date. I think I did this all like literally right beforehand, but listen, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes when I'm in that zone and I'm just getting stuff done, I forget what I got done and what I didn't get done. Like, I don't even have like a list that I'm checking off. It's just like, oh, I gotta get this done, and I start moving, I'm making thumbnails, I'm doing the draft. I think I did it. Let me see, because yeah, that's updated. I think that's updated. And then I think that's updated too. I think so. I think the draft is updated. We can even take a look. Yeah, if you do exclamation BB27, I think it comes up in the chat. Get this chat back up. I lost my YouTube chat. Here is our leaderboard. I am random person still in first place here with their team of Ava, Keanu, and Mickey. Ooh, they might be losing Mickey this week. That might be a chance here for Amy B, who is in second place with Ava, Lauren, and Morgan. Ooh, we got a little bit of a battle here for first place. I am random person. Really got to be cheering on Mickey here. Hopefully they can win a veto. Amy B, hoping that Mickey does get evicted, because that gives them the opening to take over first place. And it would be a solo first place, as we got a big tie here for second place. We got Keanu. Ooh, some Mickey players. Yo, this draft is wide open, people. This draft is wide open, because look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 teams all tied for second place have Mickey. First place team has Mickey. Mickey is in a lot of danger this week. First, second, third place could all be up for grabs here very soon from some of these other players up in the top. Ooh, this draft is getting good. And then we got another kind of big tie here at 45, but lots of different teams. Oh, and more Mickeys. Yo, this top of the draft leaderboard, it could change here very quickly. Ashley's, a lot of Ashley's in here too. Catherine is a possibility for going up. Rachel even could be ended up on the block here. Ooh. We got a nice Vince here, but you got Mickey. So this is our leaderboard. You can check out the draft. Does it come up in did it come up in YouTube if you do exclamation BB27? If not, here, I'll post a link. I'll post a link up in the YouTube chat. I know it comes up in Kick. There you go. You can click that. You can check out the draft. Want to find yourself on the leaderboard, see where you're at, because again, a lot of this is going to be changing up here. Where am I at? Oh, I don't like how much I'm scrolling. I don't like how much I'm scrolling here. I don't like how. Oh, I mean, all right. It's technically 84th because there's the one. The one is the names. We're gonna pretend like we didn't see this. We're just gonna pretend like we didn't see this. Nothing. We didn't see nothing, guys. What was I like? I think I'm up in the top, up there. I'm up top. I'm doing great. My team's fantastic. Let's move on. Maybe fantasy football. We're gonna do fantasy football, everybody. we're doing fantasy football. Like I said, we are actually doing fantasy football though. So and there's a lot of really cool stuff. Like I said, if you want to get interested in that, join the Discord. There's a lot of really cool stuff. And listen, let me say this real quick. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you are liking this stream, if you're having a good time, smash that like button. You don't know how much that helps just with the YouTube algorithm, right? There's a lot of ways to support the channel. There's so many ways, but just hitting that thumbs up button is the easiest way to help this channel grow. And I cannot thank you guys enough for all the love and support you do give me. But hitting that thumbs up button, huge. So if you're here, if you're hanging out, listen to this me ramble, talk about these crazy people in the Big Brother house. Smash that thumbs up button. You can hit the notification bell. You'll never miss a video or stream. Although our watch parties have been a little iffy. I'm sorry. Just we had some issues coming up. We had our own drama this week. It was a wild week in the house. It was a wild night of the wall comp, and it's been a wild one for me too. Also, you can check out my socials. I think I'm really close. I don't know if I've gotten there yet. Robert, hit that sub button. Robert, thank you so much. But also, Robert, you didn't know this, but me and you, when you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, me and you, we have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. But me and you, we're going to the final two. We're going to the final two, Rob. And listen, if you hear about other like final twos, like don't believe it. It's not true. Dance Monster, what's up? I see you over on Kick. We are live on 3 different channel places right now: YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. You can watch wherever you like, though. There's no issues where you want to like. It's all up to you, whatever your preference is. They're all getting the same feed, so it's nothing different. You can see everybody in chat, so you can all have the same conversation, though, so you can kind of keep up with everybody happening. Laura says, is Vince thinking of Rachel as a renom, or is he cool with her now? It's a good question, Laura. It's a good question, because he's had conversations where it's like, actually, I think he's trying to build something there with her. But he did mention it to Morgan that, hey, maybe I could take that shot, but he also laid the grounds for like other people would take that shot too. So maybe he doesn't have to take that. And when he did bring it up, Morgan kind of pushed back on it. So I don't know if he would take that shot at Rachel now. I'm not sure. Because I think Vince might think he has her wrapped up. And I'll be honest, I think Rachel trusts Vince a little bit. I don't think fully. But I think the other night Vince broke through to her. I think he did just enough in that conversation and they really bonded. And they were talking about just all kinds of stuff. They were talking about old video games like the Oregon Trail, Carmen Sandiego. They started talking about Blockbuster video, and not like Blockbuster, right? Not like a video of Blockbuster competition, but the physical store Blockbuster, the old thing before Netflix came along where everybody would go rent videos, right? They were talking about that and bonding with it. They started talking about Tamagotchis. Do you guys remember Tamagotchis? Do you guys remember Tamagotchis? The little virtual pet that you had to take care of and it would poop and then die and it looked like an egg. They were bonding over this stuff, and it was the most fun that I've ever seen the two of them have in that house, I think. And they were just really getting along. And I think from then, Rachel started to have maybe this thing like, hey, wait a minute. I know I've heard people say he's coming for me, but every single time I talk to him, he tells me he wants to work with me, and he says sometimes he's just scared of me. Maybe he's actually telling me the truth. Maybe I actually can trust him here. I know he goes around and talks to everybody, but maybe it's just like this. Maybe he's having conversations where he's talking to them, but he's also just getting to know them, and we haven't had that chance. And then I think it really started to click with the whole Judges Alliance too. I think that's really kind of brought them together. And now this vote voting out Rylie, I think Rachel might actually start trusting a little bit. Like just that tiny bit. And it's opening the doors. And I think that's a good sign to how good of a player that Vince is. He's flawed. He's got flaws in his game. No doubt about it. He's got flaws in his game. But I like his style, right? Like his style of game is fun. He's got some tendencies that make him like really close to being a good player. But those flaws kind of bring him down a little bit. So it's like, it's interesting to see how he's playing on through this. And like I said, with my allegiance chart, he finds himself in the middle, right? Where it's like, he's actually not in a terrible spot. There are some people that are mad at him, like real mad at him right now, but not as many as others. And he is still kind of at the bottom of the totem pole, but he's self-aware of this. And his job right now is to figure out how to not be on that bottom. I still think even Ashley's a little bit below him, but also, let's say at the end, if it ended up being Ashley versus Vince, I think Vince goes, right? Like if it was the two of them sitting on the block when the vote happens, I think he would go over Ashley. I think they would end up keeping Ashley now at this point. Whereas before, he might have had some votes there with like somebody like Catherine or something, but I don't think he's going to get that. Vince is like a Tyler 2.0. Like he's kind of, right? It's a very similar play style to Tyler. He's not as good as Tyler. Tyler's a little better at it. He's a little sneakier. But also, I think Rachel is one of the ones who really caught on to Vince because she's seen that so much. And I wonder what his game would have been like without Rachel there. Did Vince win HOH? He did. He won the wall. Ori plus Big Brother, more afraid to mention an issue of fear messing up their game. 100% true. 100% true. I signed on Discord, how I connect with you guys or a group. So to get with us, I think if I do this, I think a link's going to come up in chat, but also it's in the link to all of my videos in the description. There's a link to join our Discord channel. And once you join our channel, there's a bunch of chat channels in there where you can go and chat about all things BB. Like there's Big Brother channels, there's Survivor channels. There it is. There's the link coming up right there in the YouTube chat. And there's the Big Brother channel, there's a Survivor channel, there's ones for other reality shows, right? Like we've got the Amazing Race coming up. I really should probably make one for the Traders too, because there's a lot of good Traders stuff coming up. We got the Traders US, which is going to have 2 seasons. There's going to be the celebrity season and the newbie season now on. They're going to be doing 2 seasons a year. We're also getting Traders UK. There's a celebrity season and a newbie season coming up. Actually, I wonder when the Celebrity UK is going to be coming out, because they already released the cast of that. I think it's filmed. That one should be coming out fairly soon for Traders UK Celebrity. But I'm telling you, if you guys like the Traders, like I talked about with Survivor Australia. Survivor Australia is the superior Survivor. Traders UK is the superior Traders. Traders UK with the newbie seasons blows the US out of the water. Listen, I love some of the players that they got to play the Traders. I love them. They're great. A lot of great players have played the Traders with the people they've gotten as like returning reality stars, sometimes celebrities. It's been okay. But Traders UK, they get newbies. And watching new people play the Traders, there's something special about newbies, because I'm telling you, when you have returnees and there's too many returnees, the game's choked. Everybody knows each other in different ways, right? Even if you don't know each other, like you might know somebody, right? Like all the housewives know each other, all the reality people, a lot of them know each other, or at least they know somebody or they know of each other. And there's so much just like pre-gaming and just groups that form. But when you get the newbies, everybody's coming in fresh. For maybe a twist or two here, right? You guys know how like the Big Brother loves to do like the twin twists and like the hidden partners. BB UK will bring you that. There's every so often something like that too. And I'm telling you, Traders UK, best traders. I think the second season of Traders UK is my favorite, but season 1's really good and season 3 is really good. I believe it's on Peacock. If you wanted to watch it, maybe in the Discord, we can get some other things too. We'll see. We'll see. I think they're out there. I think you can find it. We had Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf coming on in, hitting that sub button. Listen, Bad Wolf, you're a bad wolf. You're a bad wolf, Bad Wolf. And guess what? When you hit that subscribe button, when you hit it, you didn't know this, but me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Me and you, we're going to the final 2. We're going to the. You hear about other final 2s? Don't believe anybody. Don't believe anybody. You know why? Do you know how you believe me? Bad Wolf. I'm already giving us a name. We're Bad Streams. We're the Bad Streams. We're going to the final 2. We got a name and everything. Listen, everybody else, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't. No, it was not true. It's not true. I'm a final 2 with you. We're going to the end. We're going to the end. I didn't mean that with Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf, thank you for hitting that sub button. Thank you so much. She trusts him, but does he trust her? That's another good question, Laura. Laura, that's another good question. I know Blockbusters and Tamagotchis. Angela was the best player of all time. Angela was awesome. Angela brought a lot of entertainment. I don't know about best player, but she brought a lot of fun. Is Vince thinking of Rachel? Ubando! Me and Ori are in an alliance called the Natural Ones. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Natural Ones, baby. Going for that tag team gold. We're going to win it. Yes, UK traders and Australian Survivor the best. Lisa D, you know what you're talking about. And also, here's another thing, guys. Here's another thing. Lisa D, she's got that green name. She's got that Oreo getting dunked. She's a member to the channel. Listen, there's a lot of ways to support. Like I said before, hitting that like button's the easiest way. But you can also become a member of the channel. You can also gift members. You can hook up the community with memberships to the channel. I'll say this. Kind of some of the perks. There's not a lot right now. I need to work on that. I need to work on the perks. Listen, we need to work on that. I will fix that. It's going to be a thing. But you get the cool Oreo in chat. You get a little Oreo glass. You get a little dunk. You get dunked. Everybody here is part of the community. You're an Oreo. But when you're a member, you get dunked. You get a little dunk action. Where else we had? I think Rylie is going to the past all of his betrayal very easily. I feel bad. He knows who he is, a troll freak. A little bit. Just a little bit. Like I said, I think he's not doing interviews because I think they want to polish that turd. I think they want to polish that turd a little bit up. She does Vince put Mickey, Ava, and Rachel. So does Vince put Mickey, Ava, and Rachel up? I don't know what he's gonna do. Like I said before, he said to Morgan at least, right? And I think he does trust Morgan to an extent, right? But I think he's gonna tell her things that are different from Lauren, right? So like 100%, you can't really know exactly if this is what he's gonna do. But options: Mickey, Ava, Kelley, Catherine, Ashley, and I think Ashley might be a good one. The only problem is the whole judges thing. And those would be his main 5. But then also he said he could take the shot at Rachel if he wants to, and Morgan pushed back on it. And here's the thing about Vince. A lot of times what he'll do, he'll float. He'll float what he really wants to do sometimes. And he'll see just to see if there's a nibble, right? He was doing it with Ava, with originally wanting to keep Rylie and vote out everybody else no matter what. And he'd be like, you know, like we could. I mean, I'm just saying maybe we throw it out there. I'm not saying we do, but like it's an option and we should at least maybe consider, right? And like Vince will do that kind of a thing because he doesn't want to commit to it, but he wants to fish. So I think he does really want to put Rachel up, and that's a thing that's kind of interesting. But I don't know if I think if he works, I think it's really going to depend on what his meeting's like with her. And I'm interested to see that meeting of Vince and Rachel. How does it go? And what's the vibe like, right? If it's a vibe like they had the other day when they're talking about Tamagotchis, I think it could be a good one. By the way, do you guys want to hear my Tamagotchi story? Do you guys want to hear my Tamagotchi story? I have a Tamagotchi story. Like I said, if you guys don't know what Tamagotchis are, let me get a picture. Let me get a picture up of Tamagotchi for you. Because there's gonna be people who know, and then there's gonna be people who don't know. And it's gonna be a very different group. This here, and I'll use this picture because it gives scale. It gives a scale of what these things are. Here we go. And actually, the one I had is on here. These are Tamagotchis. If you don't know, Tamagotchis, they're like these little virtual pets. And they had 3 buttons on them, and you could use those 3 buttons to go through the menus. And you could see here, like, it's like a little, like, virtual dude. It's like not even like digital. It's like, it was like right. This was huge technology, though. Let me tell you, this was cutting edge. This was the most amazing things they could do. And there was a few different things that would happen. Like they would hatch, and they would start as just like a little guy, and then eventually they would grow, and they would get like arms and stuff like that. But you had to take care of them. If you didn't take care of them, they would die, and they were the most annoying little things. They would go like beep beep beep, like take care of me, take care of me. And you could do like little games on them and stuff like that too, right? But the goal was like to keep them alive as long as you could. And when these were big, like these were at one point, these were the biggest toys that you could get. Like these were like the hot thing to get. Like back when like what was it, like Cabbage Patch dolls back in the day, like when they were like a huge thing when they first came out and everything like that. It was insane. They 100% are a commitment. Like you gotta be locked in on these or they're gonna die. You were lame on the playground with that 100%. You needed one of these. So here's the thing. They were hard to get there for a little bit. And I remember I wanted a Tamagotchi. So my grandmother's like, hey, listen, I'm picking you up after school today. After school, me and you, little Ori, we're gonna go to Toys R Us. And you could be a Toys R Us kid, and we're gonna get you a Tamagotchi. We're gonna go get one. It's cutting out. What do you mean? Sometimes this happens. Refresh if audio is cutting out. YouTube's been doing that lately. Sometimes when people are watching, it starts the audio starts messing up. If anybody's having an okay fine, right? I see Mac, you're saying it's good for you. Tell them to refresh for me. Type in the chat to refresh, because I think sometimes it fixes it. I picked the 3 years this too. My grandkid killed these little screamers. They wanted them a couple of years ago. They killed them pretty fast. Most people's would die pretty fast. So little Ori, grandma's picking me up from school. She's taking me. She's going to go get me a Tamagotchi from Toys R Us. We go on into the Toys R Us. It's pausing. Let me check my YouTube. On my YouTube end. No! Stream health. It says poor. It says poor. Why is it poor? Why is it poor? Everything's good on this end. There's a little bit of skipped frames. I wonder if anything... Maybe I'm going to try closing this. Let's just try closing things. Is it working for some people at least? We'll close those stuff down. That I can close, I guess. This. Maybe it's just I have too many things running. I don't know. Because the other end of it, it could just be my computer as well. It could be my computer. Oh, I didn't want to open more stuff. That opened something. That opened something more. That ended up opening something. Oh, wait. I think we're coming back. I think it says excellent now. The stream says excellent health. Refresh. Refresh if you had issues. There we go. I'll put it in the chat there too. All better here now? All better here now. We're looking good. I think we're looking good. I think we're good now. So let me finish this Tamagotchi story. And let me finish this up, and maybe we'll call it a wrap after this, because I want to finish this. This is a good story. I'm telling you, this is a good story. Everybody's like, Gory, you've been telling this Tamagotchi story. So grandma picks little Ori up from Toys R Us, or from school, takes me to Toys R Us. We get there, and when we get there, we're like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why a cop is sitting out front of the Toys R Us. Like, you know how they have the fire lane in front of stores that you're not supposed to park in? Well, a cop doesn't have to listen to that, so a cop's sitting right in front. Paramount sabotaging Ori's ISP yet again. Yes, they are, Stanley. They're trying to keep me down. They're trying to keep me down over here. So there's a cop sitting in front of the Toys R Us, and we're like, oh, that's weird. Wonder why a cop's out front. So we walk inside the Toys R Us, and we see like the big like sign where it's like Tamagotchis, and like where the Tamagotchis are supposed to be. They got a whole section right in the front of the Toys R Us. Like, as soon as you walk in, this is where the Tamagotchis are. But guess what? Those shelves are empty, bare than a poor man's cupboard. Those things they had cobwebs on them. There were no Tamagotchis. They were long gone. These things, you look everywhere you want. There were empty racks all over, and we were devastated. We said, no. They sold out of Tamagotchis. It was rigged, Norma. It was a rigged system, and we weren't allowed to get them. And I was like, man, we're not getting any Tamagotchis. And my grandmother's like, well, you know what? Let's just at least go ask the front desk, right? Maybe they have some in the back. She was just trying to keep little Ori spirits up. That's all she was trying to do. She was just trying to keep little Ori spirits up. We get to the front desk, and she's like, well, I asked the guy. Because, like, my grandmother used to do stuff like that where she's like, you know, you can, just because you're a kid, you can talk for yourself. She's like, ask the guy. I was like, hey, hello, sir. Do you have any more Tamagotchis in the back, please? and he looks at us, and this poor guy, he was like, you know what? You guys missed out. Because we had them out. And just about 20 minutes ago, we had some. And two moms started fighting over the last Tamagotchi, pulling hair. He's like, it was nasty. They were rolling all over the place. One of them hit her back on the shelf, like she was hurt. An ambulance had to take her. The cops had to come and break it up all over a Tamagotchi. That's how much people wanted these things. They were so sought after that people were literally rolling on the ground fighting each other for a Tamagotchi. And then he says, yeah, it was crazy. They were fighting over the last one. And he looks at me, and he looks at my grandmother, and he looks back at me and says, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. And he reaches down under the counter, and he pulls out the Tamagotchi from under the counter. And he says, I think this might actually be evidence. This was the Tamagotchi they were fighting over. And you could see like the top was like ripped, like where it was like supposed to hang on the hanger, like that ripped off because it was just cardboard. And he's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to sell you this, but he sold us the Tamagotchi. The Tamagotchi that I used, Tamagotchi I had, that Tamagotchi, people bled for that Tamagotchi. Let me tell you. Let me tell you what. People bled for that thing. And we got it. Yeah, what a nice grandma, right? It was great. They fought, Laura, in the Toys R Us. Over a Tamagotchi. It was like the Furby craze. It was, I imagine it was like the scene from what is it, Jingle All the Way? What's the Christmas movie with Tom Arnold where he's trying to get the Turbo Man? You gotta get the Turbo Man. It was probably a scene, and we missed it. I would have been, listen, little Ori, he loved a good fight back then too, right? Like, you know how we love a fight? We love a fight on Big Brother. Little Ori back then, little Ori would have been like, yo, let's, oh, they're going at it. Oh, the double leg tape. I was in the WWF at the time, right? Like I was a big rock fan, right? So I'm like, yeah, get him, right? It would have been fantastic. Or reaping the benefits of criminal activity. Yes, Laura, he sold it to us, and I think it was evidence. I don't think he was supposed to sell us it. The cop was still outside filling out the paperwork. We're walking out with the Tamagotchi. Do I still have it? I don't know. It's probably somewhere. It's probably somewhere. Look at it. We got 2 more subscribers coming on in here. We got 2 subscribers coming on in here. We got Wade. And we got Haley. Listen, Wade and Haley. Listen, the 2 of you, I like your vibes. You both came in here. You both hit that sub button. And you guys didn't know this when you hit that sub button. We got a secret alliance now. And I like it. Do you guys feel good about each other? You feel good about each other? Because here's the thing. I think we should have a final 3. Wade, Haley, what do you say? We're going to the final 3. Us 3. Now, listen, if you hear about other alliance, don't worry about any other alliances. Me and you, we're going to the end. Thank you for hitting that sub button. Hey, you worked on commission. A guy needs to get paid. 100%, Laura. 100%. Nothing like buying evidence and letting it die. Oh, yeah. That poor thing, it went through hell. That Tamagotchi was fought over. And then that Tamagotchi died over and over. That Tamagotchi used to sit with piles of poop sometimes because that thing would die quick. And I would just see him sitting there, come back with the X over his eyes. I'm imagining Ori as a character from Despicable Me. I look forward to watching you every morning. Thanks for everything you do. Mary, well, thank you for coming on to watch him. It was 100% a Tickle Me Elmo thing. You better still have it. They're going to need a subpoena you for the evidence. They might, Lisa. It might be a thing. Imagine the Tamagotchi craziness on eBay resellers, instant millionaires. Oh my God. Crazy, right? I'm going to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be a good story about the little miniature electronic pet. I mean, how could it be? I stand corrected. Great story. Blood was shed. You were the victor. In the end, we won. In the end, we came out victorious. It's one of my favorite stories. It's one of my absolute favorite stories. The Cabbage Patch doll is still unopened in my best friend's mom's garage. It was bought in 1983. That's crazy. I wonder what that would be worth today. Because they were such a big thing where everybody bought them, but who kept them in the package? Right? Who was able to keep them like pristine? That's a big question. I guess I should actually go watch last night's episode now. Mickey, Vince, Morgan, backdoor Rachel. Ooh. Let's see, where else are we here? Stacked. I loved Cabbage Patch dolls. I used to collect them when I was younger. I still wish I had them. I might have the Tamagotchi somewhere. It's packed away somewhere with some of my old stuff that I just haven't gone through in years. So maybe, but I don't know. If I ever find it, I'll show it off because that thing was bled over. Who is Vince going to nominate? So he threw out some options. Kelley, Catherine, because both of them said he was dead to them. But also Ashley, Mickey. Who's the other one? There was another one. Let me check my notes again. Ava. He threw out Ava as an option. I don't think Ava's actually an option. I think he's just saying that to Morgan. And Rachel. He said if he really wanted to, he could even take that shot at Rachel. But I don't know if he is, but he also, I think he might because he's floating it. And Vince does that a lot where he'll like float ideas. So it could be a lot of different ways. Because here's the thing, Vince is one of those like sly players where he's actually trying to pull a lot of strings here at once. And I love that style of gameplay. And it's a tightrope he's walking here. And he just blindsided like half the house with his vote by voting out Rylie. So I don't know where he's going to go. I still have my daughter's stuff. I keep the most collectibles for her. That's awesome. Beanie Babies were my day. Ooh, I remember the Beanie Babies. There was the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. Yeah. Where are we at? Oh, also, actually, you know what? Listen, you guys know. All things for me. All things revolve around two things in my life. I can always relate things back to Big Brother, and I can always relate things back to the Eagles. Because did you know, Princess Diana, huge Eagles fan, by the way. Huge Eagles fan. Just a little fan. Not a huge Eagles fan, but she had like an Eagles jacket, so we like to claim her. We like to claim that we had royalty. Royalty was fans of us. But there is actually an interesting story where she like met one of the people that worked for the Eagles at like a funeral, and he sent her like a big box just of stuff for her and the kids. And apparently it's like, I don't know if the kids actually like still are fans, right? Like they do, you know, their version of football over there, soccer for us Americans. Um, but there was a jacket that Princess Diana actually did really like. She liked the colors and how it looked. It was like a bomber jacket type style. Or not a bomber jacket, but like a Letterman jacket almost. With like kind of like the special sleeves, like the leather sleeves and the felt thing and everything. And there's like a famous picture of her on like one of like the bridges or something wearing it. I used to collect garbage pail cards. Yes, the garbage pail kids. Anyone else? I had a whole book like football cards I sold a few years ago, and I read it ever since. I had thought thousands. Also, one of the things I just realized, I might not have the Tamagotchi anymore. I might not have it. There was a house fire a while back. And one of the things, I lost a lot of stuff in that. It was bad. But one of the things that I was like, because like, look, everything's replaceable at the end of the day. But the things that aren't, there's a couple of things that like, unless I have a lot of money, this is not replaceable. I had like a first edition Charizard card. Yeah, like some of those Charizard cards, they go for Ferraris. Like basically, I lost a Ferrari in a fire. I had like a Brian Dawkins autograph and stuff, and a Bobby Clark autograph. Like, yeah, you can always get replacements. Those aren't too hard to get. The Charizard, that's probably the most valuable thing I ever had. That gone. I lost a Ferrari. It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I had some good stuff. I had some good collections there. I had an arrest to make but the thing is, we didn't lose everything. Like the things I kept in my room, right? But we had like separate stores like in the garage. So like the Tamagotchi might have ended up being in there. And there was a lot of stuff that we saved from that, right? So we didn't lose like everything. It was just like a lot. So I'm not sure if the Tamagotchi was there in the garage. I'll have to look through that garage stuff at some point and see if I can find it. I had an arrest make a boy George Cabbage Patch doll to give to him. You gave boy George a Cabbage Patch doll at a concert? Norma! I kept the doll because I forgot to bring it. Oh no! I always went backstage. Norma's getting the VIP action. Let's see. Trolls. Yeah, Trolls. I know, PT. I lost a Charizard. I got one for $1.25 at the Dollar Tree this weekend. Ori, the plot thickens. Stacked. That's awesome. I see that a lot. Those things breed a stronger, more honest relationship. Glad to hear. Well, I don't wait stack. My mother went through because we would fight almost every day until I was 17. Oh, that's a shame. Stack, but hopefully you have a good one. My brother and I fought like cats and dogs. That's always funny too. Yeah, that's how that things go. You fight, but then you protect each other. 100%. That's how you do it. I had the little ponies too. I brought my daughter everything that was trending those years. My Little Pony. I have a little brother too, 4 years younger. And he was a nightmare. Oh no. Oh no. For me, I collected marbles and record albums as a kid, but that was the 60s. There was another thing that came out too, was Pogs. This is another thing for maybe a little bit of the younger / older crowd. This is like the midway point. Pogs were like the little cardboard circles, and you would stack them up in a huge tower, and then you had a thing called a slammer, which was like a thick like hockey puck kind of like thing that was only like about yay thick, but like that, you know, big around. And you would smack it, and then whatever ones landed face up or down, like there were like sides to them, you would keep, and like you would play like a game with it back and forth. And you had like tubes of them. And I remember there was this guy who owned a toy shop, and I happened just to be like around when like he got like this big thing of Pogs, and he was like, "Yo, kid, I was like, hey, you're going to take these. You're going to go play with them with your friends. I want everybody to know about these. Tell them where you got them. So he hooked me up with like 2 tubs of these pogs for free. He was like, go play with every kid you can find. Let them know where you got all the pogs. These are the new thing. I don't know why the guy in Philly had like a New York accent and went a little New York there, but we got Hazel coming on in and Owen Har hitting that sub button. Listen, guys, you didn't know this, but when you hit that button, we now have a secret alliance. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. But we now have a final 2. We're going to the end, but also there's 2 of you, and I think we should make it a final 3. I like the vibes of both of you. Let's do this. Lock it in. Go to the end. You hear about other alliances? Not true. It's not true. Not true. It was Jonathan. I know, no, but also I shouldn't have gone over. But the guys are handing it to you. You're just taking it. I just left and went and played with my friends. I got hooked up. The boys had pogs, and I hooked up all my boys. It was great. That was Ori's introduction to life. That did what it is. What happened back then? Who is Vince putting up? It's hard to tell right now. He told Morgan, like, one of the last things, like, this was literally right before I hit the live button. He told Morgan that it would be potentially between Mickey. Mickey was kind of like the big one where he's like, hey, I hope you're not going to be mad if Mickey's going up because you hate her right now, right? Because she was kind of going against you. You're really mad at her. Good. You're not going to be mad. And Mickey's like, yeah. Morgan's like, yeah, you can put Mickey up. So Mickey's probably guaranteed. I'd say Mickey's a guarantee. And then his other options, he was saying Catherine and Kelley both said that he's dead to them. So he's like, that could be an easy one. Who's that coming on in? We got a follower over on Kick. Crazy Girl. Coming on in, following on Kick. I appreciate it. Crazy Girl, you might not know this, but when you follow on Kick, you get a moan. This is a quick one. We're on YouTube, too. We got to be polite on YouTube. And then Super Christian Me World coming on in with the $5 super chat. Ori, who won HOH? And how many finals 2 did you get today? I only had 1 final 2. You and me, Super Christian. We're going to the end. $5 super chat. Who won HOH? Vince won HOH. We were just talking about his noms. He was telling Morgan, like, literally right before I went live. And, like, I'm saying, like, 7:50. I went live at 8 o'clock. He went to bed at 7:50. And he told Morgan that because Mickey is being so crazy, he hopes Morgan's going to be okay with Mickey going up. And Morgan's like, yeah, Mickey's good. So Mickey's almost definitely going up on the block. Here's the thing. Mickey doesn't think she's going on the block. So this will be a fun little blindside for her. So Mickey's probably the number 1. And then he went over his options. The other ones would be Catherine and Kelley, because both of them apparently said to Vince he's dead to them now that he voted out Rylie. Ava could be an option, but I think he was just floating Ava because, like, she's not in the judges. But I think he's got a better relationship with Ava right now because of the way they both voted with Rylie. Like, they both made that happen. Or to vote out Rylie, I should say. And I think he's got to build in something there, and he's trying to maybe keep that thing. So I don't necessarily think Ava is an option, but he said it to Morgan. And then I would say Ashley is another one that could really go up, but she's in the judges, and Morgan was kind of pushing against stuff like that because she feels like they have to keep the judges as an alliance. They need that to get to the end. And then he also floated Rachel as an option if he wanted to take that shot. Here's the thing with Vince. A lot of times he'll fish. He'll try and, like, toss out just that little bit of bait. Like, hey, do you want to take this? Do you want to go for it? And, like, Morgan pushed back on it. She's like, yeah, we should just meet with the judges tomorrow, right? And really talk this out. So I would think Mickey's a definite. Rachel could be a backdoor. I could see an option where he backdoors Rachel. I could see it. I'm not saying it's for sure, but I could see it. And if Vince pulls a backdoor on Rachel, and what would be funny, here's what would be really funny, because Vince said to Rachel one time when she was HOH, hey, listen, like, whatever you just, like, if you are going to nominate me, can you just please not backdoor me? And she laughed. She was like, you think you're a big enough target for a backdoor? If Vince If Vince wants to be a legend, yo, if Vince was like, Rachel, you've been nominated, you are a big enough target for the back door, it would be like, oh, I don't know necessarily I want to see it, right? Because I think Rachel brings a entertainment to the season. But man, that'd be some bars from Vince. It would be kind of epic if he did that. It would be kind of cool. I'm just saying, that would be a hell of a move. It would be a hell of a move from Vince. I don't know if he'll do that. And honestly, I don't know if he even should. I don't even know if he should. I think he's actually gotten through to Rachel. I just don't think he trusts. I don't think he trusts her enough. I think there's still doubt with him. And I think the conversation today with Rachel, whenever he has a one-on-one with her, because he said he wants to talk to Rachel, he wants to get her thoughts and hear what she has to say. If that conversation goes well and he gets a good vibe, I could see him being like, all right, maybe I can do this because I think Rachel trusts me now. But I don't know. And I think Rachel slightly trusts him a little bit now. I think he started to break through. And I think maybe she's like, you know what, after that vote, I think maybe I can trust him a little bit. Yeah, Sunshine, Riley's not doing any interviews, which is a thing. I think they're trying to get him prepared, make sure that he has a little training to him, try and polish that turd, if you will, because he's gonna get hit with some heat. There's gonna be some heat, you know. So they're delaying that. I would imagine that's what it's about. Norma with the $10 super chat. Ori, it was the band Queen that introduced me to the event coordinator, and that's how I got the seats and backstage passes in onto the early minutes. That is awesome. Norma, Queen is one of my favorite bands of all time. You guys know sometimes, I don't know if you always see my shirt, like right now I'm wearing, this is a Mummer shirt. And that's Super Christian. Super Christian coming in with the $2 super chat. Imagine if Keanu won HOH and backdoors Rachel. Oh my God, that would be crazy too. That would be a mic drop moment. I know you probably can't see my shirts all the time. They're always like cut off. But this is a Philadelphia Mummer shirt. There we go. But one of the shirts I wear all the time is my Queen shirt. I love Queen. Queen's one of my favorite bands of all time. Here's a story. You guys want another? We'll do another story time with Ori, and then after this, we'll wrap up. How's that sound? We'll do another story time with Ori. After this, we're gonna wrap up, and we'll call it a day. So back in high school, we had this thing. It was multicultural something, a celebration of something. I forget what it was, but basically the idea was for your language class, if you wanted to get extra credit, you could do this thing they were doing in the auditorium where you could perform some kind of thing that would represent a different culture that, you know, you wanted to show off, right? You could do like I actually played the saxophone back in the day, so one time I was kind of forced into doing it anyway, where one of the teachers was like, you play saxophone, you're playing. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then one time the drum line, we all did it, and that's how this story comes about. We were doing it, and our drumline performance at the time was this kind of like, it was almost like Jamaican inspired. Like we didn't have the steel drums, but like the vibe of it was just kind of like in that style, right? And we had the keys, like the xylophone and the what's the other one called? There was a different name for it, like the bells, they called them, right? I won't interrupt story time. You just did, Lisa. So they were doing that. It was kind of like a Jamaican feel to it. And it was just a really cool show. By the way, I'm not to brag, not to back. Our drum line was really good. Like at one point, like we were like top of the top. Like we won like all the trophies and stuff in our divisions. Like we were crushing it. So we did this thing, and the big thing was we knew as a drum line, like everybody was like, we just want to get extra credit. And here was the kicker. Here was the kicker. If you performed that day each of the language classes would go to the show. So you got a day from school off. So it was like, oh yeah, wait, I don't have to go to any of my classes. I just get to hang out backstage for most of it and then wait for my turn and then go out there, do our little show, and then we get to go backstage again. Sign me up. And we get extra credit for class. This is perfect. So I'm down, right? Here's the thing. There were two girls who were doing their thing. And you guys remember the Numa Numa song? Do you remember the Numa Numa song? It was like a meme, right? This is long after it was a meme, right? Like this was like this is at the point where like we're carrying cell phones around now, and like they're talking about the Numa Numa song still. Like people got iPhones and they're doing the Numa Numa song, right? And it was like these two girls, they're doing the Numa Numa thing. And listen, let me tell you guys, this was sad. Like everybody, like when it's happening, right? Like most of the time the classes are like kind of quiet, right? But it's like they just like people would still get a clap, right? Like people would kind of cheer on and kind of give them some feedback for it, right? And like cheer everybody else who's doing it, even if like they kind of stink. But this was sad. Like it was boring, and the crowd was silent. And we were in the back, like all of us, like the people in the drum line were just like, man, this is sad. So everybody goes like, man, Uri, you should go help them. Uri, get out there. I was like, no, they're doing their thing. Because I was only, I think I was like a sophomore maybe. And the girls were seniors, and like my buddies who were in drumline with me, they were seniors and knew the girls a lot better. But like I knew them, but like I didn't know them, right? It was like kind of one of those things, like I kind of knew them. They're like, you should go help them. So I go out there and I start dancing behind them. I didn't know what to do. I was like, what am I gonna do? I just started dancing behind them. And listen, I turned that crowd around. The crowd starts going crazy. They love it. They think it's the funniest thing in the world. I'm like doing crazy stuff. It was a good time. The girls weren't too happy at first. They were a little upset at me. I'm not gonna lie. They were not happy that I did this, but they quickly turned because the next performance, because like after their performance, they came backstage and they're like, "Why did you guys do that? Why'd you come out dancing?" I was like, "They told me to do it. They said that we would be fun. They wanted me to do it, so I did it." They were mad. Well, let me tell you, word spread. People started to hear about what happens halfway through the Numa Numa performance. So now all the people are showing up and they're waiting because they started to get cheers. And they're like, wait a minute, we're not getting cheers. So then I started coming out and I started dancing again, and the crowd goes wild once again. So the third time they were like, listen, Ori, can you do it again? You can come out again. Like we'll do it. I was like, all right. And each time we did it, it built. More people started coming out with me. Like we had at by the finale, when like the last class was coming in to do this, everyone who was performing in the thing was out there on stage dancing with me. It was a whole it went crazy. The guys in the light, they started having a good time with it. They were flashing the lights like crazy. It became a whole show. Like it was insane. But the best part was the last one. I went, you know what? Here's what we're gonna do. Slowly, I was like, listen, you guys are going to go out one at a time. You're going to get slowly. We're going to build. I'm not going out there first. Normally, I would go out there first and it would start the big thing. I said for the last one, because everyone's going to wait for that anticipation. Everyone's going to wait. So what did I do? Everyone came out. So then we had the curtain behind. I just popped my head out for the last one. And I'm telling you, that was the time where I had a stone cold pop. If you guys know wrestling, you know there's a couple of pops. There's the stone cold pop. There's the Legion of Doom pop. When those music hits, when those wrestlers hit the stage, the crowd goes wild. And when I'm telling you, when I popped my head through that curtain, the place went insane. It was insane. So that's another story time with Ori. I remember iPhones right before the hurricane. My neighbor had one. I still refuse to carry the phone. I don't even like answering my phone in the house. When I'm busy, I'm busy. Well, that's the thing, Ori. When I'm busy, I'm busy. Listen, don't you call me. You better text me first. Madeline, what's up, Madeline? Who won HOH? Vince won HOH. And he's thinking right now, Mickey, but other possible options, Catherine Kelley. He threw Ava's name out. I don't think it's a real option. Ashley, his name he threw out, could be a real option. And then he said maybe he's been fishing that Rachel could be an option as well. Those are kind of the names he's floating around, at least to Morgan right now. At least to Morgan. Keanu is crazy. He threw Rachel under the bus to Vince hard. Vince could use this to get close to Rachel again too. So we'll see what he decides to do with that information. Because he was like, man, you should put Rachel up as a pawn. Like, Keanu, no! And he's like, even worse, he says, if she goes home, oopsie. Like, oh well. Or Glory Stories Josh. Super way to solve the problem. I remember before answering machines with the cassette. Oh no, the answers machines. And then the cassette would get full. The cassette would get full and you wouldn't be able to get your messages anymore. We marched in front of cows. I yelled moo moo. The cow came over the fence. But I made coffee when you started, and I just went to finally get some, and I'd forgot to put the pot underneath. No, Donnie! Oh no! Oh, that's a disaster, Donnie. Oh, that's a disaster. We need a video or a recreation. I wish there was a video. I wish there was. I don't know. Somebody's got to have one. I'm sure they recorded it or something. Back then, they recorded things, right? It started to become a thing then. Keanu's not wrong. Oopsie, right? Like, he's not honestly not wrong. If you do put her up as like a back door and she went home, it's like, oh, oopsie. Still have a landline. Those are a dying thing nowadays. Those are a dying thing. I think even I'm definitely gonna be calling up my internet and being like, listen, we need to talk. I might need to upgrade, but also I think I saw recently one of the things they offer is like you get the internet and then they give you a mobile line and it comes with it. So like they're trying to undercut everything where it's like instead of like how you would do home TV security or whatever they would do, now they're doing like internet and the mobile line so that hopefully you just do your mobile line as your home phone or something. Who won the wall? It was Vince, Terry. Vince won the wall. Right. Yeah, Riley's not going to be doing any exit interviews. Call the party line for the movie times I did. Yes. Even better than that, Lisa. Then Kramer taking over the movie line, the phone line in Seinfeld. Yes, exactly, Lisa. Yes, exactly. I finally got my mom to drop the landline last year. Yes, Brent. Vince won the wall. It was a crazy one too. I'm telling you guys, listen, I have a thing I'm going to do. Once I wrap up here, I'm going to be doing it pretty much all day. I'm probably going to work on this thing. I have a really cool thing I'm going to do because I'm telling you, this wall comp had a lot of fun moments and I'm going to put something together that I think is going to be really cool. And if you see a special video maybe pop up at some point, definitely make sure you check it out. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you always get the notifications when videos go live. If you're in the Discord, you'll get a notification as well. I have some stuff cooking. I need a drink now. Stacked party line. I forgot about that. Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you want to watch? Press 9 and it was just beep. Why don't you just tell me? Kelley was annoying and screaming. Go Cowboys. Whoa, place it here. Whoa. Whoa. All right, guys. I think we are going to wrap things up for the morning. I want to thank you guys all so much for hanging on out. It's been a good time. If you are new here, though, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, if you had a good time in this stream, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We will be back again tomorrow with another update, giving you all the latest and all the intel and all the drama from the Big Brother live feeds. Check out all of the links to my socials. There's the Twitter. I don't know if we got there yet. I've been pumping it up a little bit. We're getting really close to 1,000 followers over on Twitter. If you guys can go on and hit that follow button over there, that would be pretty cool. We got the Discord. Discord's awesome. The Discord has so much cool stuff going on in there. We just remodeled everything, so it's really easy to find all the stuff you want in there. Go check out, there's the Big Brother section, the Survivor section, Survivor Australia versus the World. You can find information about that in there. Maybe launching it. There's places where you can even post pictures of your pets. Come on and enjoy the Discord. It's a lot of fun. Check out the Ori Fund. The Ori Fund also, you can support Oris everywhere. Never required, always appreciated. Never required. Easiest way if you want to support this channel, though, smash that like button. Especially if you made it all the way to the end. Rambling, this goofy dude. Listen to me. Thank you guys all again so much. And I will see you next time.
But you should be. I've got it here in days when it would have taken you years. And I'm not ashamed of myself. But you should be. You should be.